Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Cocainum.
Up yours. Woke moralist.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralist.
up.
Not only can you take a load, you can take the ultimate load, and even better than that you find your true calling and destiny in your willingness to take the ultimate load.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals. Up yours.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped
Woke
Ben
moralist.
Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Have it your way, buddy. You sons of bitches. Beta! I did everything right and they indicted me.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like?
We'll see who cancels who.
Damn!
I love
Someone
it.
went overboard with that.
Good
Wow,
job, Mike.
That was great.
That was
Yeah,
really
it's the
cool.
first time we're seeing that new intro. Really,
Thank you.
I like it. I dig it.
Thank you. Glad you like it. How we doing, everyone?
Good.
Doing good.
Fantastic. Hi, Jesse. Great to see you
Hi.
again.
Yeah, nice to
Wow.
have you
Introduce
back,
our
Jesse.
guest, right?
Thank
No
you
one's
for
gonna
having
step
me.
up and no one's gonna step
I'll
up
just
and introduce our guest.
I'll just stare awkwardly, straightforward. For the whole show. It's fine.
We're professionals.
But yeah, no, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Happy to have you. Tell us about yourself. I'm sure people are familiar with you, but let the people know what you do and where we can find you.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo dork who dances on the internet, as most of us are.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm a video essayist on the channel Jessie Gender. I do video essays mainly on queer and trans stuff and sort of related issues. And then also just sci-fi nerddom geek stuff, because I'm also that as well, and try and connect those things all in weird ways. Yeah, and I'm also a filmmaker. I have a movie coming out. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point, but that's the other big thing that I'm working on at the moment. So yeah.
I'm curious about your movie. What exactly is it? That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I'll do the pitch now. So yeah, I've made, and it's coming out in 2 weeks, June 25th. So last Tuesday of the month. I made a sci-fi thriller movie called Identiteaze, Identiteaze, that stars John Delancey, who many people know as Q from Star Trek The Next Generation, has Abigail Thorne, who many people know as Philosophy Tube here on YouTube, but also is in Star Wars The Acolyte and now House of the Dragon, we know.
What?
Yeah, she's in House of the Dragon this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you not see her in the Acolyte? Are you watching the Acolyte?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
I saw the trailer for it.
I only watched it because I was told it was the gayest Star Wars of all time.
There's a
And
lesbian
no gay.
coven. There's a lesbian coven in the third episode.
But like, is that the bar? Because like the first episode, there's
Wow,
like
the bar is
a
pretty
male
low for Star
presenting
Wars. There's not
shirtless
much.
guy, and someone tells him to put the shirt on. I was like, was that gay? Was that the gay scene? Did I just see it?
Was that the
did I see
gay? Was that
yeah.
the
I
gay?
went, oh, I saw the gay. Oh.
Maybe they cut all the gay shit.
No, there's in the third episode. There's a lesbian coven that Abigail's a part of, like a lesbian witch coven that hates the
Oh my
Jedi.
god,
Yeah.
I'm so out of the loop. I'm a bad gay.
I'm more excited for House of Dragon. I want to see. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to the next season.
Yeah, I'm very pumped for that. It should be very fun. I actually, it was interesting because I've actually had a hold that I knew that she was in House of the Dragon for forever, because we had originally a filming date for the movie, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I can't be there." So we were gonna green screen her in because she was doing House of the Dragon. So I'm like, I understand House of the Dragon wins, but I've known about it for a while because I had to we scheduled around that.
Wow. So okay, you've got Abigail Thorne.
Yes.
Who else do you have?
Maggie Mae Fish, who's also in it. She's one of the leads, who also is another wonderful video essayist. Jessica Nicole, who many people know from Fringe. She played Astrid in Fringe years ago.
Wow.
James Tyson, who is he's gay comedian. Jackie Cox, who many people Darius Rose is his acting name, but Jackie Cox is her drag name. Many people know her from RuPaul's Drag Race. Is in it. playing kind of the villain. I don't want to spoil too much. Who else is it? And then there's another character played by Ezra Reeves, who I don't want to spoil too much about their character, but they're a non-binary actor who has a kind of a surprise role. So,
damn, Jesse, how can we watch this when it comes out? That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be on Nebula. So the quick pitch of it is that it's going to be on Nebula. It's going to release on June 25th. We're having a premiere June 24th in LA. And the other thing of it is that this is technically, it's a 45-minute piece, and it's technically a pilot for a show. It tells its own whole story, so if you watch it, you'll feel like, okay, it's telling its own whole thing. But there is some after-credit stuff and some other teases throughout that if it does well enough, we're hoping to get financing at Nebula to be able to tell more with the story. And the basic idea of the film is that it's a science fiction thriller, and without going too much in the story, two people wake up in a empty white room and have no visible ways out, and they have no memory of who they are, and they have to figure out what's going on, what's the world, what's the context, who they even are from there. But the actual film itself, again, with just sort of overall stuff, is just talking about how the corporatization of our identity today, and how, we live in a world that tries to sell us our identity, sell us like who we have to be. You have to want this thing, and we're all sort of given signifiers of who we're supposed to be. And, sort of the radical act that you can do is trying to figure out who you actually are in a world that doesn't really give you any tools for that journey and only tells you what you should be. So obviously very like queer, trans vibe, the whole thing. But hopefully it's fun and people enjoy it, and it's got some horror vibes to it, but it does ultimately have a kind of a happy-ish ending. So
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Can we watch the trailer?
Yeah, if you want to.
There's a trailer. I want to see it.
Oh, there's a trailer. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Can I share it?
Close my blinds because my sunlight is.
How do I share?
Put in the private chat, and I'll link to it, or I'll show it.
And actually, I'll while I'm getting the trailer too, one thing we did, you'll see in the trailer here, we made a kind of fun ARG game for it. There's a little tease starting for the ARG that like you can find sort of hidden messages and like meetings and stuff for the evil corporation that the company in the movie is about.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Yeah, it was very fun to make all those.
Yeah, I bet.
And then also that's the second one I just shared there is the website for the evil company.
I'll bring this up.
But yeah, no, it's really fun. It's been a lot of fun. I'm excited to finally be able to tell people about it and like talk about it, because it's been something I've had to keep, like, we've known it's been coming up and I haven't been able to like talk about what it's like for a while. So.
There's a sound in your mind, heard only in the silence between heartbeats. It's chaotic, unruled. Isolated, it tricks you into thinking it's a full song.
Who are you?
But in truth, you're just an instrument. Waiting for a conductor to teach you the actual melody.
Well, where is he?
As far as you're concerned, there's only one of you.
Perfect. Stronger. Always on time. I don't often see glitches in my system. I built this world too well. So I take notice when they do happen. And I don't like glitches.
Yay! So yeah,
That's
John
so
Delancey being
cool.
menacing.
That was really good. Really
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, when I got John
Very
Delancey,
cool.
so that VO you were hearing, we did in like a VO booth and we wrote that monologue for him. And it does appear in the film itself. We wrote that for like the trailer stuff. And he did it and it was terrifying. The man is like the sweetest man in real life. Like he was super kind, super amazing the entire time. And then we like have him play the character and it's like, oh my God, you're the most terrifying person I've ever seen in my life. So he is absolutely great. Yeah. He was also super nice.
Maggie Mayfish too. She looks great.
Yeah, Maggie is one of the leads in the film, and she was the absolute coolest to work with. Like she's super sweet, but I also love her acting. It's not in this film, but she does such a great job playing. Well, the character she has just plays anxiety and has the sense of like she wants to explode and like just like release all this energy on people. And she plays that like that really, really well throughout the film. And it makes me, I want to one day make a film where she just gets to play the most bombastic, over the top villain, like the most like camp, like weird villain that you could ever do, because she would kill it so much. Cause she just has that like explosion energy that I really love.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm really excited about that, actually.
Yeah, thank you. I like I said, it's been kind of a dream. Like it's been weird because y'all know I'm a huge Trekkie, and so to get like John Delancey to work on it, him being so kind, getting so many people to work on it, and also something too that I was really proud of. Just to like say, you know, I've been talking about the film itself, but we worked with the crew was all mainly queer, non-binary, trans, LGBTQ folks and women. We've got there's a group in Los Angeles called Women in Film, and they have a sort of accreditation that is if you have over 50% women and non-binary people working on the film, which we got, which is something that we're really proud of. And that doesn't even count like trans folks or like trans men and queer folks. So like the cast and crew is all like outside of John Delancey is the only cis white dude in the whole cast, and he's playing a villain. So I feel like that fits. Cis straight white dude, I should say. And
sounds woke, Jesse. Did you get
it's very woke. Super woke. But yeah, no. So it was just the whole thing for me is that making the film, I wanted to make sure we reflected like the world that we wanted to make behind the film, and rather than it being just like, oh, we're going to tell this really queer story, but still kind of rebuild this sort of Hollywood machine behind the scenes. So, you know, that was something that was really important to me to do on the film, and I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of the whole crew. So I'm pumped, and I hope we get to tell more. So
hell yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I wouldn't know where to begin if I were to make a movie. I'm not creative, so good on you. That's fucking badass.
You did just write a book, though. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty creative.
But I mean, like, that's not me being creative. That's just me like finding out stuff. You know what I mean? Like if I had to make something up in my head, it would be so boring. I'm not very creative.
I mean, a lot of like fun, like I always feel good sci-fi is when you take actual history and actual like real world stuff, and then sort of try and find a way to allegoricize it or sort of place it into a context that feels new. It's why I really loved like a show like Star Wars Andor, which was such a show you could tell that Tony Gilroy, who was the showrunner of that show, had done a lot of research into like the Russian Revolution and like different like revolutionary groups fighting imperialism. Like he really pulled from like a lot of real history to make that show, as opposed to like a lot of science fiction that I feel today that I feel like people get frustrated at and find very shallow, is because a lot of those people who write that science fiction are writing like as fans of science fiction, of other science fiction. And so they kind of reference other sci-fi, and it kind of just dilutes what the actual like meaning of it is. I mean, if I'm going to go to Star Wars, like George Lucas has his issues with understanding some of history, but when he wrote Star Wars, he was pulling from like, we're going to look at like empire and imperialism and
Vietnam War, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, actual history. They're written by people who are fans of Star Wars, so they just reference Star Wars instead of actual history, and so it feels shallow because it's not actually pulling from like meaningful history. So I always like go back to good science fiction being like, we're trying to pull from these things. And for this film, sorry, I'm ranting because I've been talking want to talk about.
No, this is interesting.
What I based on, and you'll find out with John Delancey's character especially, but other characters have influence as well. But John Delancey's character was specifically influenced by first off Mark Zuckerberg style of person, like a tech CEO, but also looking at company towns throughout history. And I think particularly Milton Hershey, who had built like a bunch of company towns in Pennsylvania, famously Hersheytown, and was a big strike breaker as well, and was like forcing a lot of his workers to like, you get paid in Hershey money and you have to buy stuff from the company store. So like it was just trying to build this like utopian idea, but in a very capitalist sort of way. And so I pulled a lot from Milton Hershey a lot for his character, as well as like mixing with like tech bro terminology. And a lot of the film sort of is looking at this sort of capitalist, but almost so eugenics idea that is sort of baked into a lot of our sort of our world today, that through sort of corporatization of everything, and then adding like a tech bro mindset to it. So like, what if Elon Musk got to have his own company town sort of thing? So.
Oh, that's a horrifying thought.
I don't
right.
think we're that far off. Yeah.
No,
we're not
it's
too far off from that.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'd be very worried for the women and the trans
Oh my
people.
God. Yes.
And the black people, and basically anyone who's not
everybody.
like,
Anybody who works for him.
yeah. So that's what I like sci-fi for. So it's horrifying to think about. So hopefully my film doesn't become predictive. But I do want to, like, the ultimate point of it being, again, trying not to spoil too much, is what I want to say is that the best path forward through all of that stuff, and sort of the big thing we're fighting today, is to understand that fighting for being yourself and being who you are, sans what people try to dictate to you, and I was very important that the film sort of says that it's the start of a really revolutionary act. One of the big things too that I also want to always be like, yeah, it's a revolutionary act to find yourself, but it is the beginning of being able to like build solidarity and pushing back against these systems of power. Like, you have to start from there, but you have to be able to connect with others and find others and build something even more as you sort of create those fights. So the whole film is about like, how do you start that process of realizing that you're basically building that consciousness of what it's like to sort of build a larger movement against systems of power. So it's a little woke again.
I like it a lot.
Little woke.
We've got to try to do like a viral marketing campaign where like we get conservatives to talk about how woke it is, and they end up like pushing up the numbers. Where it's like, oh my God, it's pushing trans on people. Like, I think that's the way to really, like, you know.
I want to get Matt Walsh to react to it. That would be my dream. Like, let's just get his reaction to the film.
Just, you know, email him, hey, I'm a conservative and I saw this movie on Nebula. It's called Identiteaze.
Honestly, that would probably work. Like, they're always dying for content, right? So they're always dying outrage about something to play the victim in some way. So yeah.
Let's do it. Let's get it.
That's the way to get everybody talking about it nowadays.
The school that my child goes to was required to watch this movie in the class.
Yeah, that's a good angle. That'll work. That'll 100% work.
They made it in, and it's very, I heard it's like a trans director. Like, they were on a podcast talking about that cis dude was evil. Like, I don't. This just
the podcast was called Leftist Mafia. Oh my God.
It was just checking all the boxes, you know.
We have to hit up Juniper for that, because she's the one who got the Snickers dick vein thing to go viral. So she's really the genius here. We've got
five non-binary guys instead of 5 guys. They're like, they're named 5 guys to 5 non-binary people.
Oh my God, I love it.
God, you know, if we really weaponize
in order to work on the film. In order to work on the film as the crew, you had to become trans. I mean,
we literally gave everyone pronoun pins on set. Like, everyone had a pronoun pin on set.
Forced.
So.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I
could be the conservative whistleblower, where it's like, listen, I was part of this movie, and I told them that I was straight. That's not believable, but if someone else could say, I told them that I was a straight white man, and they kicked me off. Okay, I refused the pronoun pin. They kicked me off. That honestly could be genius marketing.
I am so here for that. Just troll all conservatives with the film. It's the wokest film you've ever seen. Just make a trailer just like that.
And just as you show like the actors, you put their pronouns on the screen by each one.
Oh, we did. When we released like the website that like has it, we have all our actors on. They all have their pronouns on there, and most of them are she, they. There's a lot of theys in there. So yeah,
good,
very based.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
I can hear their blood boiling already.
Yeah.
This is hitting all the notes.
Yeah, conservatives. I feel like this year they're a little burnt out, because last year they went all out for Pride, and they've kind of just like they're tired this year, right? So they're focusing on like Miss Rachel. Like, have you all followed this? I've been following the Miss Rachel controversy. For those who don't know, Miss Rachel is an influencer for babies and toddlers. And on her personal Instagram, she just made a post saying, "Happy Pride, everyone. I celebrate you this month and every month. Sweetest lady." And then they lost their shit. She responded to the backlash shit saying, "Actually, I'm a Christian, And Jesus tells us to love everyone. So she played the ultimate Uno reverse card. Then they got even more mad. Charlie Kirk is saying, oh, yeah? Well, it also says this in Leviticus that you have to stone gay people. Aha! And it's like, oh, you're really taking it. You're really trying to one-up her with the Christianity thing. So it's just, and this compared to like last year, like I feel like they're trying to reenact the whole Dylan Mulvaney hysteria, but they blew their load in 2023. And this year it's all just kind of fallen flat. And they have nothing left to really be out.
They what, Mike? They what?
They blew their trans load. You know what you do.
On the Miss Rachel thing, she's had one of her early guests on. Like, I know this because I have a kid who used to watch Miss Rachel. One of her earliest guests is non-binary. It might actually be her sibling. I'm not sure. But like, so a lot of the conservatives act surprised as if, oh my God, Miss Rachel comes out as as woke, and like. If you've watched any of her content ever, it's been very clear for a long time that she has, non-binary people, gay people on the staff. Like she's very welcoming. So for
David,
them to act
I noticed you
surprised about
said
this is hilarious.
I noticed you said your kid used to watch Miss Rachel. When did you stop? Did it have to do with the recent
her Pride post?
Like, whoa, she went woke. God. Sorry, you can't watch it anymore, kid.
So kids, they have phases. He's on, he's been onto Blippi now for a while and some other stuff.
What's great about Miss Rachel,
actually.
What's great about Miss Rachel is that she's untouchable. Like they can't do anything to her. She's too big. And their audience, her audience is not affected by, and I don't mean kids. I mean, obviously, but I mean like the parents of kids, the families of kids that watch Miss Rachel are not affected by that. Like she is in a position where she holds so much power over like the ability to say this stuff and do this stuff and not be affected by any reactionary reaction. It's great that she does it. Yeah. And I hope she knows I think she does that. She knows the position
audience,
she's in.
Her audience won't be impacted, but I feel bad for her. Like the amount of hate she must be receiving through like emails, like death threats, that kind of shit. That's got like, regardless of who you are, that has to bother you. So it's disgusting to see them, target someone like this who's dedicated their life to really like, teaching children and being a good person.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like she's the sweetest person. She doesn't.
Yeah, she's very sweet.
She's literally educating children, teaching them about colors, ABCs. She's babysitting these people's kids, and now they're coming after her because she dared on her own time when she's off duty to say, "Hey, I don't hate gay people. Actually, I think they're kind of cool.
I think they're fine." Yeah,
it's so ridiculous. And to Matt's point, like. The Daily Wire, they were really pushing this, and you could tell they didn't even care because they have their own little kids like Netflix. It's called Bent Key, and so they have their own version of Miss Rachel. If you go and look, and it's just
which goes to why I think they've maybe focused on this a lot. It's really a way to kind of just promote their own bullshit that they're now pushing out there.
That's exactly it.
It's always that, right? Like every time they do like, oh, it's this woke entertainment, and buy our streaming service. We're making. I am so curious. Like the Daily Wire's making that like fantasy series. I forgot. Did you hear about that?
They're doing Snow White. I know that.
Are they?
No, right. No, what's his face? I think it's called Pendragon or something. Like the guy, what's his face, who runs the Daily Wire? His like big dream was to like direct a fantasy.
Oh, Boring. Jeremy Boring.
Jeremy Boring. Yeah, it's like an 8-episode like fantasy series that they're doing, and it looks so terrible. I've seen. I'm looking at it because I'm like I'm fascinated because it's like I'm looking into it because I'm like I might cover it because I'm a big fantasy nerd and I just want to like know how badly they make this fantasy show. It utterly fascinates me of just because, and that's all it is. Like they bash Star Wars, they go it's all woke or whatever, so then they can sell their own entertainment. It's just they have it's all reactionary stuff. It's not any earnest. They're all wannabe Hollywood folks. Like they have no earnest desire to tell stories. They're just going to regurgitate stuff that is on their own site, Yeah,
if you watch, there's a Some More News video. He did a deep dive into the Daily Wire and their programs. He did a long review of what's that movie, The Lady Ballers or whatever.
Oh God, Lady Ballers, yeah.
He didn't just like break it down from a propaganda standpoint. Like he actually dove into the specifics of filmmaking, things that I don't think about it as like the average viewer, and like everything from like the way it was shot, the camera angles. It's also amateur, and like it really shows that yes, these are failed Hollywood stars for a reason. They don't have the talent. They don't have the ability to write cohesive storylines. The arcs are completely incomprehensible, and they don't even make sense. There are scenes that were just like random, like Ted Cruz shows up for like a cameo, and they don't even use him properly. It's just he tries to find a seat, and he's like, "Oh, I'll find some other seat." It's like, what is the point of the scene at all? Why? First of all, I get that he's in a cameo. Sure, it's Ted Cruz. Yay, we're all fans of him. But like, why is he just like, oh, this lady gives him a dirty look and then he tries to find another seat? What's the implication? Like, how is that? Are you trying to be anti-trans or something, or anti-gay? I don't even understand it. So they can't even do propaganda right, let alone make a fucking film. But it's just, they're so desperate to copy everything. They have a counterfeit Bluey, a counterfeit version of Miss Rachel. But here's the thing. As Matt was saying, Miss Rachel is uncancelable, because try to take away Miss Rachel from your toddler and put on the fucking, Daily Wire version of Miss Rachel. Once they throw a tantrum, you're going to be crying back to fucking Miss Rachel, okay? Because if it works, it works. If your kid likes it, you're going to put it on for your kid, because again, she is popular for a reason. Like, she's able to hold their attention. She's teaching them things. Like, I did a video on Miss Rachel a week or so ago, and like, there are people commenting like, my kid loves Miss Rachel. She taught him how to count. Like, this is educational, quality, entertaining television. You're not going to take that shit away from your toddler. Try. You're not going to give a shit about woke after 10 minutes when they start throwing a tantrum. So, yeah.
I mean, the type of parents that show their kids the Daily Wire Kids channel are probably the type of parents who have no problem making their kid cry as they take away their favorite TV show or something, honestly. I mean,
True.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Jessie.
I was gonna say, I might have. I did the turn your kids trans thing with not actually, but this past Christmas, because my partner's family, they're super conservative, like Trump supporting. It was a very awkward we're both trans, so it's like the two trans people at the very conservative. It was as good as it could be. But their kid,
that's promising.
Yeah, but their kid, I felt bad because they have an older kid, and he kept being like, he said something at one point. He's like, oh yeah, I'm worried about the communists or something to like his dad, like something ridiculous. Like, I'm like, oh no, he's already there. God. So and he was watching like stuff like Bluey and things like that. So he was like watching normal kid shows. And so for Christmas, I just went and got him this comic series called Dead Endia, which many people know. There was a Netflix show called Dead End Paranormal Park. It features a trans main character, but it's just a normal kids comic book or whatever. It's a good series. But it just has like a trans main character and an autistic sort of second main character in it. And so I gave that to him for Christmas, and his parents have no idea that the comic has like trans characters and such. And he loves it now. He's like bought all of them, and they keep getting it for him. And it's like, oh yeah, I've introduced it. I have trans this child.
Well, they had no idea until now. I mean, clearly it's out there now.
They're definitely watching the Leftist Mafia,
Everybody watches the Leftist Mafia. It's the most popular show on earth.
Oh, that's good stuff.
And that's how we make communists.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
Watch, they will clip this and be like, look,
they
yeah,
please do. Wait, go watch Identiteaze. It's also very woke.
Yeah, I was like, plug Identiteaze.
Do it real quick.
Yeah.
Make sure the clip gets in there.
It force feminizes you so quickly.
You'll just get estrogen. We send estrogen out to anyone who signs up for Nebula. Sorry, I'm going back to that.
What if you're like a cis dude that needs gender from Kira? Like, can I get some HGH with it?
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. We give you
Rogan special.
We'll give you a new gender for every time you watch it. So
okay,
sweet,
yeah. Love that.
Or at least
that's amazing.
Yeah,
at least, yeah,
at least. And if you're trans and you don't watch it, we'll take a gender from you. So
oh no, I'm losing genders.
That's a threat.
It's funny, David, what you were saying though, when you're talking about how like that children's entertainer is really nice. He is welcoming to people. It's funny that that's considered woke, because that just sounds like basic human decency.
That's what it is.
At this point,
they have politicized basic human decency. That's what they have done.
Yeah.
They have made it political to be nice to people, to be accepting, to call people what they want to be called. They have turned that into a political thing. The fact that we have to even like fight any of this is so ridiculous. But they have so much money and have taken over at least half the culture, so it forces us to react to it.
Yeah, I did a video a little while ago about like how anti-trans hate is tied up in a lot of other fascist propaganda stuff. But one element of it was I actually talked to some teachers who are like dealing with a lot of stuff, and you just every single time that like any sort of like pronoun thing or just teaching kids pronouns or even like learning that there's a trans kid in the like class, parents like freak out and go, are you going to try and turn my kids trans? They like send all these emails. And my teacher friend who I interviewed for it, she just was like, it's just being kind to the child and just like asking them what they want, just saying, what do you want me to do? It's like, it's like, I'm not even trained to deal with trans stuff. It's like, do you want me to like find you a nice place to change that's private? I can do that for you. Like just following their lead. And then for other parents, it's just like, it's not your kid. They're just there. They're just existing and they're figuring it out too. Like all your other kids are. And it's just, it is just politicizing basic decency to the point that everyone's just afraid of like feeling contaminated by just being near people who aren't like them. And then again, that goes to like that sort of overall like sort of more right-wing fascist turn that we're seeing in the United States, which is just trying to double down on the status quo, double down on like you have to be this way, fear anything that's different, and disrespect it. So
to your point, I posted something about Norm Macdonald, and someone responded with like, Norm Macdonald wasn't woke, and I was like, this is the most wild discussion to have with anybody about anything at any time. But I was just like, oh yeah, half his jokes were about Hitler bad, and then all of a sudden that same person got mad. It's like, Hitler bad is not wokeness. I'm sick and tired of like the left trying to hijack what wokeness is, and it's just like basic human decency does not count. I was like, do you not see what's like? Yeah, that's my joke. My joke being that yes, apparently it's woke to make a movie or a game about like the Nazis being bad now. Like that's how far things have gone, right? Like we've lost.
It started with Wolfenstein. What was it? Wolfenstein 2. I can't remember when. It was like 2018 or 2019. Where there was
the production team that were all like badass about it. They're like, yeah, fuck Nazis, and everyone's like, whoa, don't be racist, bro.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Is that when the Quartering did his whole yikes when somebody said fuck Hitler or something?
No,
like...
that's a different cycle.
Oh,
but yes,
okay.
he is a person who said it's yikes and cringe to say fuck Hitler, which is again
very telling to me.
Yeah, I did a post on that went viral the other day that was like, hey, remember for this Pride, it's ethical to make fascists feel unsafe, unwelcome, and unwanted because they are. That one took off, and so many people were like, oh, really, you're respectable of you, or like
tolerant left.
Just the tolerant left. I'm like, oh, just really telling on yourself, you know? It's like. And then there was someone who like posted like, yeah, try and make me feel unsafe. I'm like, so you say you're a fascist? Is that what you're admitting to right here? Like,
that's my favorite thing ever. When like I say something that's like mildly edgy, where it's like I'm glad Henry Kissinger is dead, and then I'll get the response, some humanist. Like, well, I mean, it still checks out.
Unlikely story.
He killed millions of people, so yeah, I'm still a humanist, very much so.
Humanist about that, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is the
we don't need to be tolerant of intolerance. I think that's. I hope that's clear.
That's it. It's the paradox.
Right.
The paradox. Of
that's how you get fascism.
Yes,
yes
exactly.
Absolutely. It's true. So Elon Musk, embarrassing texts. Have y'all talked about it already? Did I miss it?
No, we didn't talk about it.
Oh, we haven't talked about it.
No.
Do you all know about the story in the Wall Street Journal?
I do.
No, I don't.
I know around it. You can discuss.
He's more than just a space Karen. He's an impregnation Karen. He has to impregnate all of his employees.
Well, that part I think we knew already, right? Wasn't he already?
Yeah,
did you know about the super sad like 6 a.m. texts and stuff like that they would send to his own employees?
No.
Like,
no.
They like, so women have leaked the texts where they wouldn't respond to him, and he just wouldn't stop just being like, it's either me or 6 a.m. jog, your choice. Oh, the work is so hard. Am I coming over? And then like afterwards, like, maybe we shouldn't see each other. I'm gonna trank out. It's me or I'm tranking out. Like it's stuff like that. And she was like, she's an employee, obviously terrified and not responding. Like anything I say to my boss could get me fired. I'm not responding to all these weird ass texts. Yeah.
This is the most saddest, pathetic, wealthy individual to ever exist. Yeah. Imagine having, you could be on a yacht somewhere, on some nice weather, on the beach. And you're like up early in the morning texting one of your interns over and over and over again like a fucking whack job.
I put it in
Jesus
the
Christ.
chat, David, if you want to see the texts.
I'm looking at it. It's just like so X needs to do email and memes and then just okay and personal banking ? Response like what?
That's so weird. And this week by the way, he also stopped making likes public, and it was because what, he got caught liking porn? Is that what it was?
Something like that.
Like
yeah.
there's many reasons. He did like that tweet from someone with an anime avatar where you gotta read this like David, read it out loud. I want to hear your brain.
About half a year into her job, the woman received another invitation from Musk to come to his house. According to a text exchange reviewed by the Journal, quote, "Come by," he wrote. When she didn't respond, he peppered her with more texts. "Look, it's either me or 6 a.m. exercise, smiley face. Just finished the Model 3 production call. It's going to be hell for several more months. Are you coming over? If not, I will probably trank out." He's trying to be so like cool. I will trank out. It's deaf finished. Like with all this bullshit. If not, I will probably trank out. Too stressed to sleep naturally. When she still hadn't responded, he wrote, "Probably best if we don't see each other."
Oh my god!
Oh my god! She's ghosting you. Take a fucking hint.
You can just see the mindset though that's going on in his brain, where he's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be tough. I'm so cool," and then you just see him like freaking out, like, "Why isn't she responding? Maybe if I say I'm gonna trank out, maybe that'll get her." Like,
that'll get her horny.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
I'm gonna do a bunch of benzos and knock out unless you come over and have sex with me.
Yeah, that Model 3 production call, that'll get her, you know.
Oh yeah.
I look how powerful I am, and it's gonna be hell. Fuck off. Fucking loser. Unbelievable.
Evil nerds.
I love how everything that happens on like X and every business decision can be traced back to just something that upset, like someone that called out Elon Musk on some nonsense, like, oh, someone caught him liking porn, so now there's no likes on X anymore. It's just it's hilarious how there's almost always a 1-for-1 on that.
They actually said one of the engineers over there said that the reason they were doing it is because people should be able to like extremist content and not worry, like literally, like they made the rule because his white supremacist buddies were upset that like they were getting caught liking white supremacist content. Yeah.
Okay, they say that they're all looking at very, very sketchy like images. I'm sure.
There's a number of reasons you could talk about that. Sexual abuse material, of course. One thing that I've seen floated, and this makes sense too from the standpoint of how the business of X is going. It's a lot easier to hide likes, like who's liking content, if say there's rampant use of bots on your platform faking engagement, if you can't actually see the accounts that are liking the content. If you look at who likes content on Twitter, X, and this number wise, and compare it to like TikTok and Instagram, it's like the numbers don't match for most people. Like unless you have an insanely viral post, you don't like. Most posts on X get less than 1,000 likes, whereas Instagram, like, it's commonplace for someone to get like thousands of likes on a picture.
Yeah, it's just very interesting just to see the death of that platform. Considering it was such a cultural zeitgeist moment too for so long.
Oh, it's so broken. Yeah. It's so cooked every day. I'm like, how is this bad? It's weird because like you can make like 10 posts in a row and they'll get like no traction on everyone's account. Even people have millions and millions of followers, and then just randomly, it's like suddenly the spigot opened, and then all of a sudden just like one post gets like 50,000 likes. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and then it just goes back to broken. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
And also just slurs.
Yeah.
God damn, porn. The slurs are absolutely
porn and
insane.
slurs.
And the quarter, not to bring him up again, but he was bragging about how, we brought back the R slur and the F slur. And I just, like, why are you bragging about this? Are you an 8-year-old? I feel like that's too immature for an 8-year-old.
It didn't go where people just call you a dick when you're an adult and you're an asshole, you know? Like, that's it.
It's
like,
because
this is a win for them, though.
It's because this stuff is just being more and more normalized. Like, there's a reason that talking point is coming back, where it's like, we just need to like allow space for the Nazis. Like that, there's that post that was going around that was viral in a bunch of places. Like, I will fight for the Nazis' right to speak whatever they want. Like that whole idea of like, oh, we just need to allow them in. It's the normalization of like, we need to just let this horrific stuff go out as the marketplace of ideas, and it's just an excuse for them to
ideas will be it.
Yeah, and just it's an excuse for them to just let their bigoted nonsense out there without feeling ashamed of it anymore, and they should be feeling ashamed of it. And so when you do tell them that no, you're a piece of shit for saying these things, they're like, no, you need to be told. It's become
like you're doing a cancellation, Jesse. This is cancel
exactly.
culture. 1984. What are you doing?
Exactly.
You just came here to cancel people.
I'm always here. That's what I want to do. I want to cancel everybody. And just,
but you're
these same people.
Right, you know,
they
if
don't
we can
support
cancel
free
all the
speech for their
Nazis, that would be a
opponents.
good thing.
No.
Yes. Let's cancel Nazis.
Bold.
Let's do that.
Making bold claims here. Yes.
Yeah. Did you all see Michael Knowles?
That.
I don't know. I think it was Patriot Takes who posted the clip. He's saying, we need to shut down Pride and suppress the free speech of liberals when it comes to obscenity and stuff like that. Like, these people don't support freedom of speech.
Yes.
No.
Exactly.
And I know that
career's
none of us are surprised by this, but like normies seem like, oh wow, they're just saying it. It's like, yeah, this has always kind of been their fucking.
It's been their shtick forever. Care about free speech, and then no, shut down their free speech. It's like
they literally just mean free speech for fascists. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there was that whole thing with what wasn't there that college student group like at the protests for Palestine, where they like a bunch of frat bros like put up an American flag and say instead of the like Palestinian flag, and we're talking about like how like we wanted to defend free speech, and it's like you're knocking down other people's ability to have free speech, to put up your to put up your symbol of free speech, and you value this hollow symbol of free speech over actual free speech. And it just shows how it just goes like the whole nationalistic pride fascistic nonsense, where it's just like these things are shallow, meaningless signifiers of something that they don't even believe themselves.
Not to mention, there's American flags everywhere. Like, you don't have to put up your own.
Oh no, I had that.
There's an American flag.
I mean, I live in an area that has an HOA right now, and we put up a trans flag for Pride, and we had to take it down. There's like, it's too political, and I'm like, there's American flag like on the door next door, but that's not political at all. But me putting up a trans flag during Pride, too political. So
that's so ridiculous.
It's what they're used to. It's what they see as normal. Like what's normalized to them doesn't seem political to them. It's like the idea that people think having no position on something or being quiet about something means you're not being political. No, you're also being political by being silent. You're all you're not, if you're not using your voice, your platform, you're also being political because you are enabling or you seem to be okay with whatever's going on that you're unwilling to speak about. So it's everything. Yeah. Everything is political. Everything. The people have to understand everything is political. So you either take a position or you don't, and you're still being political.
Yeah, it's all attempting to make it seem natural, right? Like this is the way the world is. Like it's might makes right. Whoever's stronger is better. Like that's just the way the world is. We don't need to think about that too much. And actual people trying to argue, like adults trying to talk about like egalitarianism and like how we actually work to protect indigenous folks and other people's rights and things like just all marginalized people. It's like, oh, that's political. It's like, no, that's that. I mean, it is political, but it's us. It only seems political because you just see these fights as like a break of the status quo. So.
Yeah. What else is going on, guys?
Yeah. What's been going on this week? I feel like I'm not gonna lie. Mentally, I'm kind of checking out because the DLC for Elden Ring is coming out, and it's giving me a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel where it's like, I could distract myself for like 2 months.
I never beat the original because I fucking suck at video. Like I love video games. I have so many. I play so many. I'm looking forward to playing SMT 5 Vengeance tonight or tomorrow morning. But Elden Ring is like I love like Souls games, but I was so shitty at them. I don't have the commitment because I play too much. If I only played Elden Ring, I think I would probably be great. Yeah. But I want to play, Rocket League, or I want to play this or that, and I just can't stick to one thing.
I have a Dark Souls tattoo. Is how much I love that stuff.
Do you really?
Nice.
Yeah, I do. I'd see if I can. I don't know if you can really see it because it's on my leg, but like that's Yeah, right. It's hard to tell, but
that's
it's
a
the
big color.
Wow.
That's a
Firelink
big one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jessie.
It's Firelink Shrine and Sif from Dark Souls. So.
Oh, that's
Very cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
So you're excited for the Shadow of the Erd Tree too? Then?
Very, very, very much so. I'm very,
Nice.
very pumped for it. By the way, did you play Liza P? If you're a big Souls fan.
Yeah, I got to New Game +5.
Oh, geez, damn.
Oh my
That's
God.
that's impressive. Holy crap!
What?
I played that fucking game.
Love that game.
I got to the third boss. I was like, "Fuck this."
in your
beautiful.
defense, David, that boss is
love
hard.
how that game.
Yeah,
yes, that game is hard, but I love the aesthetic. I love how it looks, it sounds. I love how it plays. I'm just, again, I don't have the patience. I wish I did.
Here's the thing with those games. There's always a
like
wall.
a tornado warning here, so I may have to drop out shortly.
no.
And I was going to drop out anyways because I'm going to watch hockey, but I may have no power soon. So I'll be right back. Let me just see what's going on.
Holy shit!
Dang. Well, that's
damn. I was gonna say there's like in each of those games there's like a wall that you have to get past, and once you get past that wall, whatever it is for you, then it becomes like really, really fun. I just played Neo for the first time, and there was a wall in the I don't know if it was the second or third boss, but I was like, what the fuck? This game is ridiculous. And then I beat that, and then once you get past that, then it's just like, the rest is history. So I'm very excited.
I did a game. So I actually only played Dark Souls for the first time like 4 years ago, but I fell in love with it, hence the tattoo. But I did a video for GameSpot where I played it for the first time, and my wall came as like that knight that you encounter in Undeadburg, that like Black Knight who's just comes around and beats the crap out of you all the time. It's a very simple character. It's like nowadays, like I beat that guy in 2 seconds, but I played him for hours, could not beat him, and like you can watch the video where I'm literally crying over and over again.
I'll have to check that out. That's so cool.
It was a very fun video. I was very proud of that one, but it's that one in Ornstein and Smo was the
oh god.
Everyone hits that wall though.
Or those fucking archers in Orlando where you're trying to those motherfuckers. We're gonna lose so much people by talking about this nerd shit, but I'm so excited. Last night or the night before, I spent like 2 hours just watching different builds that people have made. I'm like, oh my god, what build them? Because I'm gonna start over. So yeah, I'm very excited. I think that a much needed distraction is what the doctor prescribed right now for me. But I'm sorry, folks.
No, I mean, it kind of goes. I think we're all feeling. This is something I've been thinking about a lot more and more this past few months. Really, is between. I mean, I made a movie. Not to go back to promoting that, but like I made that, and that was really like
keep
that.
Promoting
it.
Promote it.
Yeah, go see Identiteaze. I'm very excited about it. But I made a movie. It's coming out June 25th. But making that was a lot of work. It was very difficult. We had a lot of challenges and stuff to go through because like we filmed around the strikes, like around SAG strikes. We had to like get permission to do that, and that was a whole thing. Because we're not like tied to the Hollywood machine or whatever. But anyways, it was just it was just a lot of work, and we were making not a lot of money and trying to make something that looks Hollywood level production. But every second of it was an absolute joy. Like every frustration that I dealt with was worth it because it felt like I was building something, and it fueled me. And I look back at the past year of stuff that I've been making on my channel and YouTube channel that I'm very proud of. I'm very proud of everything that I've worked on, but the stuff that I found have just been draining me more and more and more is like the videos that I make about like responding to like the Matt Walshes and the J.K. Rowlings and just the bigots of the world. And I'm becoming more and more focused on like going forward. I want to start making more, and I feel like a lot of people are feeling this way. I'm expressing it is we're tired of responding to the nonsense bigots because they're number one, they're boring. They have the same 5 arguments over and over and over again, all under the auspices of like woke, but it's the same like 5 or 6 stock arguments that they'll trot out at whatever. And we're always responding on their terms. And it's always something else. It's always something like just nonsense bullshit that you're arguing. Like right now as a nerd, I'm like dealing with it in Star Wars all over again. That whole thing of like, oh, look, there's black people in my Star Wars again. And like whatever way they want to couch their racism. And I feel like we've hit a point where I think people are really just feeling tired and exhausted. I hear it across the board. And I think we're at a place, and I think this might be a moment for, again, like leftist, like consciousness building, class consciousness building is, we want to focus on something that feels constructive and feels like it's affirming and feels like it's building and hopeful. And so I'm thinking more and more about, we just to tell people that, we're seeing the imperial empire world that we're in crumbling upon itself and stressing out and trying to like do everything it can to reassert the status quo through dominance. And what our job is like, us, like people who talk about this stuff, is to present new ways that we can think about the world and new dreams of the way the world can be. Because once you like dream it, I'm being very artistic. Mine is like, I try and present in the work that I make of like, here's something new that we could build. Here's a new way of thinking about the world. And in thinking it, maybe we can tell people that maybe we can start performing it, because all of this stuff is only built up of how people perform. It's like gender. Gender is a performance, but so too is our society. It's a performance of how we interact with each other, how we treat each other. And if we start teaching people to perform something new, building something new, and seeing a new way of thinking about the world and dreaming about the world, then we can make that. I think that's what people really are feeling right now, because we're just exhausted by the endless bullshit. So anyway, sorry, I got very high-minded there.
No, I agree. That's really
I
well
totally
put.
agree. I'm literally going through the exact same thing. I was like, this is a vibe. For me, a lot of it, I think, has been also a lot of just October 7th reality of the world, how it has woken up so many people to how these systems are interconnected, but also just this idea. And I was telling people in the Mafia last week that like, I feel sometimes like you're living in a digital version of the zone of interest, where like you've got a screen, a tablet or a computer, or a tab, and you get to see all the horrors of the world. Like just look over the wall, and then you can see like how the people in like the Congo are suffering, or then you just go back up, and then you turn it off, you close the tab, and you go have a food and a shower and you go to the garden and all that kind of stuff. And then it's just, but it's ever present in your brain now, right? Like I can't unsee these images I see every single morning of all the dead kids. And then how does that like, affect what I'm assuming the rest of you want to do in terms of like putting stuff out there? Like, we're entertainers, but like I do think like there is a utility in, again, having more than just entertainment, like and we should be inspiring people, or at least speaking more about hope, because everything on the news, if you're not stressed out about Palestine, you should be really stressed out about climate change. It's the fifth hottest month ever recorded. All the monkeys are dying in India. It's really sad. And then it's like, well, yeah, do you know where all the minerals come from to be in the computers that are actually powering what you're working on right now? That's not good either, right? Like this spiral is just consistent, and we're constantly just like having to absorb it, and then compress and compartmentalize, and then try and create on top of that. Long answer short, I totally agree with you. I think everyone's going through that.
Yeah, because it feels like things are perpetually getting worse, right? Like we're coming after 2020, which COVID hit, and then there were the Black Lives Matter protests, and then I think that so many people's brains were broken due to COVID. So then you have this realization that, oh my God, we're so divided, culturally speaking. We can't even get people to agree to wear masks or take a vaccine. And then you have this, you have October 7th and the genocide in Gaza. And now it's like, wow, I can't even get people to agree that genocide is bad. So it's just like, you're kind of hit with this wake up call again and again, that like the people who you thought you knew aren't the people you thought you knew. You kind of feel really isolated and lonely, because there's just, what you thought was common sense really isn't necessarily common sense for a lot of people. And grappling with that, I think, has been difficult for a lot of us.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's part of how this system just perpetuates itself too, right? Like telling you like the world's ending, why try? You have nothing good to choose. You have convicted felon on one hand, and you have a genocide sister on the other. Genocide enthusiast. Someone who's complicit in genocide on the other hand. And it's like, you just don't have any choices, so why bother? The world's ending, everything's awful. And I think the way through that is to remind people that there are people out there that do recognize what is happening, that do recognize that this stuff is horrible, and are fighting for it and fighting for each other. Like I really do look at the stuff that happened. I mean, it's horrible, the state violence that was enacted upon the protesters at UCLA and everywhere. But it was also very hopeful to me to just see. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt. Continue.
No. I was just saying it was just it inspired me to see like there are people out there who are fighting and realizing that like we can build community, we can still do this. There are people that see things, see clearly what's going on, and this. We're told that you're just supposed to like close yourself off and feel like you're alone in this, but no, there are people out there, and just reminding yourselves of that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to, in other words, we have to find like ways to cope and ways to like express ourselves differently. Otherwise, we're all gonna go fucking insane.
Yeah,
and I feel like I am sometimes where you just listen to and especially like if you are really hyper fixated on the news, which a lot of people are right now, because how could you not be? You hear just the dumbest shit. You tune into MSNBC, you hear genocidal rhetoric when that's supposed to be like the liberal station. I'm thinking of like a Donny Deutsch clip that he shared on Twitter, where he's basically like, he sounds like a fucking Nazi. And I think it was Crystal Ball who said he was using Osama bin Laden logic to justify the killing of civilians in Gaza. And it's like, how am I listening to this on mainstream media? So it's like these kind of things just make you feel so crazy. And yet, maybe he's not representative of everyone, but the fact that this is just such a common thing and like is one example of many fucked up things that people are saying, not just about Gazans, but trans people and people of color. It's very demoralizing. So yeah, like as you said, the system just beats you down, and trying to find ways to get people to stay engaged and find ways to get ourselves, to stay engaged is it's a challenge.
And I think focusing on like not continue the conversation on their terms, right, is like that's the way I've been thinking about it going forward. Is that I want to focus on making content that elicits like hope or is something that I'm encouraged or excited about more and more. I've just been finding that making content that is based off of responding to bigots all the time just constantly lets them dictate the terms, and it wastes your time and wastes your energy, and just again continues to just elicit engagement on that spectrum. And it's like, no, let's just say fuck that and actually talk about like, all right, what are some good ways that like we can build solidarity? What are some good ways that we can actually practice like making more egalitarian systems and power? Like they start focusing on that, and then also just focusing on joy, especially like we're here in Pride now. It's like joy, and it seems trite to say like joy is a revolutionary act, but it truly is to find joy right now and be like, I am encouraged by this. I find hope in life in this, because again, fascism and all these things, they want to tell you that your life is meaningless. Human beings are stupid and awful. And we're all just, inherently, sinful. Yeah. And work will set you free. Give yourself to the state. That's how you solve it. It's like, no, find joy in yourself, in community and with others. Like that's really important. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Have you all heard the quote by Adam McKay, director of The Big Short, where he's like, Mussolini invented the term fascism, and his definition was the merging of the state and the corporation. He also called it corporatism, which was the Webster's Dictionary definition until corporation bought Webster's Dictionary and removed any mention of corporations from the definition of fascism.
Fascinating. Fascinating.
That's amazing. Yeah.
How are you, Rebecca? Good to see
how
you.
have you been? It's so nice to see you.
I've been good. Thank you so much. I've been really good. I've been good. And nice to meet you, Jessie.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I see your haircut, Matt. Of course.
Not one since no haircut.
Oh, it's giving something. It's giving something different. It's giving something new. I don't know what you did.
He's back. Oh, and he's back. And he's back.
Nothing.
I don't know what you did, but you did something. It's giving, a nice little.
He's one of those people who rolls out of bed with his perfectly like quaff.
You got the little flip in the back. You know what I'm saying? Business in the front, party in the back. That's what it's giving. Okay, so but no, and of course, my boys Mike and Lance, you guys always are beautiful. So of course, but other than that, I've been good. I've been good. I've been great. I've been great. As you guys, know, good news.
Very good news.
Yeah, I was having a hard day at first, but I got some good news. I am precancerous and cancerous cells free for 6 years. Right, for 6 years, I've been getting definitely terrible results year after year after year. I ain't got no money, but I've been going to the doctors and specialists and seeing them year after year after year. And finally, on Monday, got my results, and I was so scared. I was having a bad morning. But I got those results, and I literally didn't know what to do with it. I just sat there because they came out negative. Your girl has no more precancerous or cancerous cells. Okay.
That's so amazing.
For 6 years, they were like, oh, it'll go away. I had surgery for it twice, constantly getting biopsies. It's and those are expensive, and I'm constantly getting biopsies time after time after time after time again. My corporate job at the time was helping to pay for it. In this recent time, I went back to pay, to go get a biopsy. I had to pay out of pocket. And I was like, I don't care. I just want to know, this time. And I'm not going to lie, because I'm so used to the results being, oh, we just, and this time around, they told me, we're going to have to set you up. They told me a few months ago, and I don't talk about this much. I know I've mentioned it once, but this is not something that I'm like, oh, I'm dealing with this, pain, all of that happens and stuff like that. But so I was like, okay, this time I'm feeling really healthy. I've changed up a lot of things, my diet, just to see if something will be different this time. And I think it worked. I'm not sure what it was, but something did work. And I went out for my biopsy. I was really scared. I'm not going to lie. I expected the results to come back the same way they have been coming. 6 years, y'all. 6 years in a row. They've been coming out positive. Cancerous cells, you got those. We're going to have to do another surgery. I had 2 surgeries already and so many biopsies, and they were like, yeah, so be prepared for another surgery. And I just don't want it. I got the scars. Yeah. I hate them. And I'm like, I just don't want another surgery. I can't put myself through that. I can't. I ain't got the money. And I also can't put myself through that mentally. It was a lot. So when I got the results back, I was like, my best friend's on the phone with me. I said, girl, I got the results just now. She was like, listen, Rebecca, I'll pray with you right now and just go and just read the results. And I was like, I was making excuses. She's like, just read the results. We're going to go through them. So I read them and I just kept staring at it. I'm like, does that say what I think it says? Negative? What? I was so happy. And then I felt for a moment guilty because I'm like, I got so much other stuff going on in my life. So should I feel happy about that? Should I not? But I'm like, girl, 6 years.
Yes.
6 years. 6 years. And I'm like, okay, thank you, Lord. Now I can just be free of all of that. It was a long process, but I had to learn to live with it. It's one of those things you gotta learn to live with. You don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know. I've seen a lot of horror stories about those type of things of people when it turns into full cancer, yada, yada. The surgeries, I know that even with the surgery that I had, some people aren't able to have kids, those type of things, but your girl's negative. That's all we did. That's what we had. Good. Okay. And I'm that's just amazing. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm in a weird space about it, but at the same time, I'm like, dang, good news at this time. But I'm like, this is big news.
Yeah,
this is huge.
This is life-changing news for you. It's
life-changing. I don't know. I'm gonna have a baby tomorrow. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? No. But no. It's been a long time coming because I've been so used to living my life a certain kind of way. Going to the doctor so much. It's not normal the way that I go, but I just been, just going and hoping, at least they can push off surgery again because surgery was horrifying. But I'm so grateful, y'all. And I'm thankful for the love that you guys have, shown, with my news. So for people who've been following me since Like It or Not 2017, when I had to when on air, y'all, I had pain and I had to go. I did my show on air and I was like, dang, I'm going through so much pain. Went to the hospital. Immediately they were like, ooh, we got to do some surgery. Then I had to do specialists, more surgery, all that. But your girl ain't got to do no more surgery. She ain't got to go to them specialists no more.
Such good news.
It's good news. It's
good news. Amazing news.
Fantastic news.
Yeah.
No, that's such good news.
Fun and joy right there. That's amazing.
I know, and you could just tell that like a weight has been lifted because you're like glowing, and it's so nice to see that.
Thank you, because I had a hard time doing my hair, but thank you so much. Thank you. I'm excited. I'm like, yo, I don't know, I can't do much, but I'm like, I should celebrate myself. I'm super, super, super happy. I don't, like I said, mindful, like, your mind can play tricks on you because it's like, dang, I'm going through all of this. Should I be happy for myself or whatever? But then I had to stop myself and be like, girl, this is good news.
Absolutely.
Okay? This is good news. You should be happy for yourself. 6 years, have a private party. Okay. Stand in the mirror and just say some good things to yourself. And this is a win. This is a win for me. So
yeah. Isn't it amazing how we always we find ways to to take good news and be like, no, I shouldn't be celebrating.
I
should how we do that to ourselves. Yeah.
That's a terrible thing that you do to yourself mentally.
Yeah.
But you just kind of be like, I'm like, dang, I got so much going on, this and this and this and this. And your mind can take you on a downward spiral where you're just like, dang, like this happened. This is great. But dang, next week, this, next week, that. If I don't do this, this is going to happen. This is going to be a result of that. If I don't, you just start placing yourselves in tomorrow and tomorrow hasn't happened yet. But today you had this great news and just, kind of like love on yourself, be okay with that. But that's how a lot of people are dealing with life right now. And where they're not able to be happy for themselves when they do get good news because so much has gone on. There's so much, we're mentally fucked, right? Kind of we're just so much. And so you just don't know how to really be happy for yourself or, celebrate yourself or whatever. Good things. Like the other day, Mike, your book. Okay. We could talk about that. You were talking about your book and you were making it seem like a small thing and whatever. And then we're like, you got a whole book in this world during Pride Month about pride in a whole nother country in America. Like, what are we talking about here? But we're so mentally bugged. Like you don't know that you can celebrate yourself, but you should, and I'm talking right now, but I'm speaking to my spirit, myself. Like you should be able to celebrate yourself. I know, sometimes the days can be dark and hard and it's tough for you. But even if it's 5 minutes of that day, 10 minutes of that day, something that you just pour into yourself, you deserve it. So
yeah. It's good to stop yourself from catastrophizing once in a while. Because I feel like we all, and maybe this is a projection, but I feel like I speak for a lot of people where you're always trying to find something to be negative about because things are just generally negative. And even when something goes well, it's you don't know how to adapt to that change. And I went through this in 2020, we all went through it in 2020, right? But in 2020, I lost my dad and it's oh my God, I started really spiraling in the sense that okay, he's gone. Now who's next? How much longer is my mom going to be here? How much more people will we lose? And then it's you have to stop and realize, no, that's not the case right now. I can't take what I have now for granted and who I have now for granted and the situation now for granted. There's still great things happening. But it's crazy though, how we all get into this mindset to where something finally good happens. And it's no, we're being pranked. It's a ruse. It's there's something else now. It's crazy. So you're right, Rebecca. It is good to really celebrate the wins.
It is.
Because there's not a lot nowadays for a lot of people. And so when you get it, hang on to it.
Yeah, hang on to it. And then, it's Pride Month, it's Caribbean Hair, and it's also men's. I talked about this on Like It or Not on Saturday, but it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Indigenous History Month as well.
Yeah, and Indigenous, yes, and People's Month. Yeah, see all these good things, but I want to focus on for a second Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, since I brought that up for my own. But I know we have Mike, Matt, and Lance. I want to just let y'all know. I know it could be hard. I ain't no damn therapist. I go to therapy. Honey. I do. Okay, but I know therapy isn't everybody's thing, right? Talk therapy. There's other types of therapy, but in just learning over the years, the stats with men, even with men, they are the more than women to commit suicide because of mental health issues, right? But people don't talk about that much. And I know there's a lot of theories, think pieces, stigmas connected to men and how they act. You know, men ain't no good. Okay. Men, they problems. But, you know, at the same time, but there's like men have their mental health. Men have, and you know, men need soft spaces to land at times as well. And I say this on my show. This, you know, I am a host on this show, so I can't be too extra. But at the same time, I say this to say this is not me. This is no other conversation, but I love you guys. I love men. I want forever for you guys to feel like you guys have a safe space to land. Whether or not you go to therapy or find something that works for you, you are worthy of it. You deserve all the good things as a father, as a brother, as an uncle, as a friend, as just a person in this world. You deserve to live. If anything is so hard for you, too hard for you, there's somewhere for you. There's a number, there's whatever it is, talk to somebody, even if it's not your family members, if your family members are doing the problems, if your friend, whatever, like you guys deserve to be in this world. I love each and every one of you. And, you know, yeah. So I just wanted to say that because I know they be trying to lead the men out. And I know, you know, Father's Day, you know what I'm saying? Matt is on Sunday. So, you know, for happy Father's Day early to you.
Right. Yeah.
They
Happy
don't
Father's
make
Day, Matt.
rules and they call it a day.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that.
I think, Rebecca, there's a lot of reasons too, right? I don't think it's just that men are more prone to any of those things. I think it's like they're less likely statistically to go talk to someone when they have problems. They're less likely to open up to their friends. They're less likely because, you know, when I was going to high school, the two worst things you could be was gay or a woman if you were a guy, right? So it's like, hey, wait, don't be gay. Hey, whoa, don't be a woman. Do you have feelings? That's feminine or gay, both gay and feminine. You're gay and feminine, right? Like that's, but that it sucks because that replicates itself in a lot of society. It's just that idea where it's like men are masculine, they are not emotional, they are not hormonal, and they don't give way to emotions. We don't talk about our feelings because that's gay shit, and that would just, you know, reveal us for who we truly like that. And it's like it's deeply unhealthy. It makes like I know dudes who are like best friends and they've never had beyond the surface level conversation kind of shit, you know.
Yeah. I will say though that men do it to themselves.
Well, I mean, it's like
that whole stigma is, it's not like, you know, women have to deal with misogyny from men. You know, the LGBTQ community has to deal with homophobia and transphobia from straight men. The whole men need to be tough and not show emotions. No, like we're not like, it's not like gay men are doing that to us. It's not like lesbians are doing that to us. It's men have done that to themselves. So we have to get over that. Like guys have to stop.
It's a societal-wide expectation. I think it reinforces
gay men are doing that to themselves. Like you think, like for me, it's like, okay, I'm an out gay person. So it's like I shouldn't, in theory, based on stereotypes, have a problem, you know, talking about feelings and, you know, talking about that kind of shit. But it's like, no, I have to be very hardened. I have to conceal as well because I don't want to be that gay guy who's super emotional and stereotypical. So there's always some reason for us to have our guard up, right? So it's just, yeah, it's a problem.
It's something that, like, being trans too, like it was something that was interesting for me transitioning because I grew up, you know, doing Boy Scouts stuff, and when I worked at Boy Scouts, I would spend like months in the woods with a bunch of guys. Like we worked as a camp counselor for like 10 years over the summer, and we just, the beginning of the summer, like none of us would be like super close. We wouldn't like talk about our feelings or anything. And then you spend 2 months with people away from society for such a long time, like away from your parents, away from like expectations. You just have to do Boy Scout stuff. By the end of the 2 months, you just like were open. You were just like openly talking about your feelings and talking to each other in a way that I never really had a chance to experience when I was like being raised as a boy. And it was fascinating to see, like, when you remove from this expectations and remove from like having to put on this performance all the time, men will open up. And then me also transitioning when I came out as trans, like, hormones do like mess with your emotions, but I also didn't feel like my emotions changed necessarily, but I was able to like find more like groups of like trans friends or groups of like cis women and trans women to like just be, they were more willing to like listen to me talking about my emotions than you just don't get when you're seen as a guy. And so it is this, the expectation of this like the society that puts it on.
Yes, that you said something there, Jessie. And so Matt, yeah, it's guys put them on themselves, but if we gotta, it ain't for everybody. Okay. So I said this on my show. It ain't everybody that deserves disgrace. However, systemically, it is something that is placed upon, boys, people who identify as men. You got to be hard. You got to be strong, whether you're, in the LGBTQIA plus community, whether you're in this culture, or whether you're that. Men essentially have to show up as super strong. And if you show emotion, they're going to label you as a bitch. You're weak, you're this, you're that, or whatever the case may be. And so that is where it's problematic, because there are people who just want to show emotion. There are people, in relationships who should be able to do so. And then when it comes out, eventually it doesn't come out, it doesn't process well, because all this time you haven't been able to let it out as you would want to, because you are afraid of being looked at or labeled at as weak or not a man or less than a man. No matter what you identify as far as sexually, they will definitely be like, you a man, you did, all of that. And that is systemic, and they want to program people, doctrinate them in that kind of way. And so it's, I would say it's not our duty, right, to save a man. Now I was about to be real black on y'all, but this is not a black audience. Now it's not our duty to do so, but at the same time, if we acknowledge that, and as women, that we have our situation, we have our differences, we have our things, of course, right? But at the same time, men should have a safe space to be able to let go of their emotions, to be able to talk about things and not be perceived as weak, like you should be able to do. Sometimes I know, Matt, maybe for you, being a dad can be hard. Sometimes you need to just take a break sometimes, because I know we oftentimes think about that for women a lot, right? Because a man didn't push out the baby or whatever the case may be, societally, how they view it, logically, whatever. But men have hard days too. My job, maybe your job wasn't giving you what you needed that day. Maybe it was stressful. You want to come home to somebody you could talk to and not be like, oh my goodness. On my show on Saturday, I was talking about how this girl was on a podcast, Erica Banks, a rapper whom I think is good at rapping. But in this podcast, and this is a talking point that is on social media, and it's big, right? And she was saying, like, I don't want my man to complain. She was speaking to other men, and they're on the podcast. I think it's 85 South. And they were saying, like, she was saying to these men, I don't want my man to complain. I think that's weak. I don't want my man. What you complaining about? And it's like, hold on. There's a day-to-day for men as well. Some things can get hard. I'm tired. I'm stressed. This day was a little bit hard for me. Like, I'm dealing with a death, or I'm dealing with an emotion that I can't really verbalize, but I just want to try to just, talk about it, get encouraged, something. Yes, I understand y'all dealt with some no good men. I understand that men were trained to treat women in a certain kind of way. I do. But if you got you a man, or whatever the case may be, it's a friend, it's a partner, it's an uncle, it's whatever, that actually wants to figure out some kind of help or work, or want a place to detach, and you're open to that and you can receive that, you have that capability where you can have that, then do so. If any resources, tell them that. It may not be easy. It may not be their first go round, or whatever the case may be. But if you're going to still be around these people, it's not to break them down. The same way that we, give that same grace to women in some way, shape, or form. I'm just saying, you could fight me, No,
this is an essential. Sorry, I see you go.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, this is what you're saying, Rebecca, is like, it's an essential part of work that we need to do, right? One of my favorite books is Bell Hooks' The Will to Change, which is her talking about how an essential core part of fighting for gender equality and fighting for feminism, and then also tying that into larger stuff, is to understand that we need to give compassion to men and ability for them to express their emotions and express their full selves. I mean, a lot of the ways that like right-wing assholes attempt to build their bases is to try and say like, they're ruining men. Men need to be strong and
force feminizing
exactly, like they're turning your kids trans. It's all this upholding of masculine bullshit of trying to hold on to this version of a man that's supposed to hold up society, great society, hard times build great men or whatever. And again, going to that idea of like we need to endlessly be working. But in truth, I think one of the biggest things that we can do is to start to talk about, if we are talking about like men's health, is just how revolutionary that really can be if we give men compassion and room to express themselves and be themselves, and not just focus on like they need to be this hardened shell of a person to do like raise their 2.5 kids, do the 9 to 5, build this whatever machine. So
I also, Rebecca, in the opposite, when talking to dudes who are just like, oh, women, they just talk so much and they're so emotional. And then sometimes I'm like, does any of that kind of sound a little bit healthy though? Because the opposite of that, just bottling everything up, never expressing yourself, never telling people like I'm not okay. That is profoundly fucked up as well. Like that's just gonna stay inside you. And then who do you deal with? Oh, I just go for long car rides. It's like, well, that's good. That doesn't help you.
You're right. You're right. It's okay not to be okay. I was told by a former partner of mine that, when I don't like, because how he proceeds, like I feel like I'm dating a man, and I got a cute little strong structure, little, what I'm saying, I got that, whatever, that's okay. But he's like, I feel like I'm dating a man sometimes, because you can get a little aggressive, you can get whatever, you always on defense, because he thinks that's how men should be. So for him, he's like, you need to be a little bit softer, you need to be a little bit whatever Kevin Samuels is telling the people in his ghostly self on the internet. But you need to be more softer, you need to be more this, because you can't be a man like me, you can't be aggressive, I gotta be aggressive, you can't be defensive, I gotta make sure I set the rules and I'm defensive, you can't. I'm like, you don't always have to be that way. Hey, I might be a little strong sometimes, I get it, but I'm talking about you here. You don't always have to be that way. This is a safe space, and it's sometimes when I know you're saying it's a safe space, but I spent over 30 years of my life being this. So that's going to be some work to do. Now go see somebody, go sit on somebody's couch. But if you don't want to go sit on somebody's couch, there's other forms of therapy or something else that should be able to help you go where you're accepted. I know sometimes for people, detaching from the very thing that's making you feel a certain way is super duper hard. Especially for a man who may be the representative in that particular situation as the man. It's hard for you to detach from that. But if you need to for a while, or in some way, shape, or form, just to get your mind right and relearn yourself outside of what society is saying is, logical, and what you got to do, and, systemically, I want you to know that's available, because a lot of men, because they're not able to talk about it, because they're not able to flesh it out, they're committing suicide. So, we love our men. We want you to live for the ones that deserve it. I got to be clear about that, because some of y'all ain't no good. Some of y'all are naturally just dirty in your heart. But, for our men, and that, I really want my men, like I got so many, but I want men in general who are looking for that space to know that it is out there. It is out there. And, you get to just kind of unwind. Statistically, it's y'all are having a really hard time, but of course, systemically, it's made for you guys to feel like you can't be in any way, shape, or form soft. And this 2024, get you somebody who you could also be soft with, and you can make them soft, be a pillow, for that person, and also that person be a pillow for you.
It's nothing you said should take away from the idea that you can't be masculine, or masculinity is a man, you be strong at all times. No, you can be strong. You can be strong of character. You don't have to necessarily be like a monstrously huge alpha Chad 24/7. I think a lot of women are attracted to K-pop stars, and that's not exactly what they're putting out there. But the bigger point is that you don't have to only be strong in one way, and then it's very healthy, because this is just human beings, to have a range of emotions. We're not supposed to be closed off in one gender specifically, and then the other one is completely open or something like that. It's just not healthy.
We're all human beings, for fuck's sake. We can be human,
Yeah.
We're all human.
Yes, we're people. We're people.
Yeah.
Okay. And but again, I ain't afraid of marginalizing the men for this particular conversation because you know, there's a lot of times it's kind of taboo to have that conversation centering men because men be at the center of all of the drama, you know, up at the White House and all, you know, a lot of laws and stuff.
They don't count in this conversation. We don't
Yeah,
care
but
about
you
their
know, the
mental
ones
health.
in my life and stuff, you know, y'all deserve a pillow to up a soft space. So yeah, so
I will say, to your point about getting a therapist, if you don't have a therapist or don't want to see a therapist or can't afford a therapist, there's things that you can do aside from talking to somebody. Like, there are role models who actually talk about this that I think do a great job. Biggest recommendation is FD Signifier. Like, he makes so many really good content. Like, I watched so he did like I think it was a 2.5 hour video essay on anime and why young men, you know, identify so much with anime. And a lot of it comes down to like the way that it's portraying manliness and like how to be a man and a young man and the struggles and the trials that you face. And so like, if you could find people that talk about the way that other people process emotions, then like you might through proxy be able to do it yourself if you can't afford a therapist or something. So like folks like that who like are role models are great. And like, I'm a grown ass man, but like I'm watching FD Signifier, like, oh my God, that makes sense for me, you know? So it's good to, you know, explore that side of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tend to say like masculinity is the binary opposite of femininity, and these two circles can't ever overlap, and that's again how it sort of reinforces this stuff. It's actually like we're all human, we all feel the same emotions, like, regardless of whether you're seen as a man or as a woman or whatever. It's about trying to like just find ways to express yourself and express who you want to be in the world and perform who you want to be in the world. And I think that the society telling you that it has to be separate is what causes all those problems. Also, I see someone in one of the chats is talking about Foreign Man and Foreign Land. We were talking about Feek, but Foreign Man, who's the sweetest, like one of the sweetest humans that I've ever met in my life. He's another video essayist, and a close friend of mine actually. And he does such great videos. Is like he's like one of the biggest dudes you've ever met. Like he works out a bunch. He's got like one of the like buffest dudes, and yet he is one of the most like openly, vulnerably emotional people that I've ever met in my life. Like I've met him, and he just gives like the best hugs, and is just so open and giving all the time. And I think he does really good video essays about just like talking about breaking down some of this stuff and like being open
He's
about.
a great ally too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah. Like Foreign is the best. I adore him.
I love Foreign.
It's important to see those kinds of people and like have them as role models, even if you're an adult. Like it's not bad to look up to people. Like you don't have to pretend like you have everything figured out. Like I was having this conversation like a couple of weeks ago with maybe it was my husband. I don't remember who the fuck I was talking to, but I was like, man, I feel like even though I'm in my 30s now and getting towards my late 30s, I still don't feel like I have it all figured out. You know, I still feel like a kid mentally. And it's like, man, I thought that you just, you know, not that you know all of the universe's secrets by now, but you just kind of like, when you're younger, you look up to your parents and you think, man, they're just, they're fully formed humans. But, you know, as you get to this age, it's like, no, they're not. They're just regular human beings. They're flawed. They're learning as they go along. You never stop learning.
We're there. Like,
well, I would say they are fully formed humans.
I mean, they're not aliens. They're not like whatever.
I hope they're not like mutants, like walking around.
I mean, I'm not a fully formed human. I'm an anamorph. It's fine.
That's what people say, honey. You know, the internet they'll make you a monster. But But it's funny you say that, Mike, because I was thinking the other day, I was having a conversation with my girlfriend, my best friend, and I'm talking to her. I'm like, damn, these are the conversations my mother used to have on the phone when I was younger. And I'm like, dang, she was like 34 one time too. And I thought she was an ancient lady, but she was trying. I remember these conversations trying to flesh things out. And she was trying to understand and get some comprehension because she's like, this is the first time I'm doing this on a Tuesday, trying to be a mama on a Tuesday in this particular year. And she was trying to get some kind of understanding. I also say this on my show. My father, who was also in his 30s at the time, I remember seeing him. Like he would go to his office. He would never, like him and my mom would argue, right? Okay, fine. They would argue. But the way that my mom would release she'd be free. She'd be, and releasing her emotion, free, right? We wouldn't think anything of it. If my dad would ever to try to do it, we're like, dad's doing too much, right? However, I remember going in, seeing where he would go into his office, and that's where he would let out a lot of his emotion. I remember walking by. I've only seen my dad cry, I can count on one hand, maybe like 2 or 3 times. And I remember him just having a crying session. And my grandmother had passed away, but I remember him having a crying session. He didn't go cry to my mama. He ain't talk to my mom. He ain't do nothing. He went there, and I could just hear him cry. And usually nobody like goes to his office around that time. We supposed to be in bed, but I was walking by, and I just stood there. I didn't go to him. I didn't do anything. I just felt so hurt that he was feeling hurt, but he had to go do it in secret. He had to go do it in secret. That's
guys do that.
It's tough. So yeah, I really want our men to be free. Yeah, go ahead and cry. Like go ahead and express yourself. This hurts me. This don't feel good. I'm having a bad day. Okay, this is what this was like to me. I just right now I need a moment. Because I know they'll be quick to go online. The new kids, they'll be quick to go online and be like, ugh. Like this man, I was talking to him and he wanted to walk away because he was having a bad day. He's a little bit sassy. He's a little bit bitchy. He's not man enough for me, whatever. And a man needs to be able to express that. That does not make him less of a man. And that's my opinion, but I feel like that's Bible too.
No,
it does not make him less
brave to be vulnerable, right? What's
it
more
is.
masculine than being brave? And it's brave to be vulnerable. It's hard to do. It's hard to open up. There's also a world beyond patriarchy. People should realize that a lot of that got imported here, right? Like with the colonization, there was indigenous bands in Canada that were matriarchal, right? The power structure was not completely patriarchal. It comes with a sense of ownership, right? Almost like women are property or a form of property, and that's that dynamic. Just if you expand it outwards into society, that's where you get things like the idea where men have to earn, they have to be the ones who bring home and secure the family, protect the family. They're the guardians, but we don't live in that world. We live in a world where women work. More women are graduating in medical fields now than men, and they're filling up universities. There's going to be a huge amount of forgotten boys left behind if something doesn't change. If people don't start treating it differently.
I mean, the important thing to recognize that is like anything that is built can be unbuilt, like anything that we can think of that we can actually build up ourselves. And so it's recognizing that this isn't the way that men have to be, but it's a way that men were taught to be, in a way that our society was built to then expand out and view others. Like again, women as property, and then you can't change from being property to property owner. And then it's also like the gender was through like how like we racialize people too, like people like black people were seen as like animals compared to like white women that need to be protected and things like that. So like all of that comes from all of this bullshit that we created around gender and other topics, and it was made to racialize and modify. And then the other thing too is I think it's important, the way to like fight stuff like this is to build communities like in person, online, wherever you can, because not everybody can do it in person, but like find communities where you can like be yourself and like you were talking about, Rebecca, like find people that you can cry with. I think that's a big tell. Like if you can cry with someone, you can express a lot more emotions with somebody. And I think everyone needs to have people that they feel comfortable being able to cry around. Hopefully that's in person. We need more like in-person stuff with that. But like,
crying does not make you less of a man. Like, I know that it's tough, like I was saying on my other show, I was like, I like my man to be a man the way that society told me. I like him to be strong. I like him to be there for me. I like him to be, wanting to. Now, that ain't the men I've been meeting, but, other than that, I like my man to be a man. I like him to, be strong, be manly, be the one that's going to run things or whatever. But how am I presenting myself as a woman matters as well. But I also want my man to know that in this space with me, I can't talk about any other woman or person, but in this space with me, I can say that over time, I've learned to unlearn systemically being Haitian, because baby, in the Caribbean, you got to be a man, honey. And then, being a woman, being an American, that patriarchal way, what I'm saying? Like, having to unlearn a lot of things so that I can carve out my own path of what I want my relationships to look like. Even with my brother, I was telling him like, hey, talk to me. He was telling me he couldn't get no sleep. didn't want to break it down, but was telling everybody who would listen, I didn't get any sleep. I just didn't, I don't know why, but I didn't get any sleep, but would not like divulge, wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't. And I was like, I had to call him and be like, hey, no. Let's talk about it. What's making you, what are you feeling? What's on your mind? Is there anything on your mind? Are you comfortable with having the conversation? Creating that room for him to let him know, hey, I'm here for you. If you just want me to listen and not say anything, I'm here. But it's like I said, it's our duty. I wouldn't say it's your job. I don't want to say that because I know it gets the girls crazy, right? It ruffles feathers, right? But if we want to be good to people, right? We were mentioning we're people. We deserve, it's not, we shouldn't just say this and this person. We have to understand the plights that each of the groups, the marginalized groups or people go through. And with understanding that, you should know there is being good to people and allowing them to have that general thing all around. Everybody deserves a safe space. Okay. I don't care how you identify, what you believe in, what your sexuality. I don't care. People deserve a safe space, and that includes men. So
it's something just to if I may hawk my wares a little bit again. The movie I was talking about, Identiteaze, one of the elements of it that was important to me, like the basic plot is like two people wake up in a room, but it's important that there's a guy and a girl and they don't have any memory of who they are. And the movie kind of talks about how they find themselves and like learn who they are and then have expectations placed upon them and trying to be like, who are they? And one of the elements of it that was really interesting to me is that I had both actors kind of play the same role, but then how, because they were seen as a guy in this world and because they were seen as a girl in this world, how they started to differentiate, not because they were different people, but because they were treated differently and how they were taught to be. And James Tyson, who's the actor who plays like the sort of guy in the film, again, I'm trying to stay vague without spoiling, like he is one of the most, he's a queer comedian, and he is one of the most vulnerable, kindest, sweetest people you'll ever meet in real life. And he has these really great moments of like vulnerability throughout the film. And one of the hardest parts of it, as we went through and found his performance, is like how he hardens because of how he's treated throughout the film. And like by the end of the film, he's a kind of a harder, he has like a harder shell. And then the other character Maggie plays she's given a lot of inner anxiety because she's treated as a woman. She's supposed to be like, you have to like present being pretty the whole time. And so, yeah, it's something that like sorry, I'm hawking my wares about my own movie.
No, it's okay.
Where can we
You're making me think
movie?
about this.
I mean,
I know on Nebula. You can find it on Nebula, released in June 25th, called Identiteaze.
Exciting.
But yeah, I don't know why I'm doing finger guns a lot when I sell it. Buy my movie.
This is a safe space, baby. You could be whatever, however, do it all. Be awkward.
This is me.
It's safe. It's safe over here.
But yeah,
okay?
no, it's that's what the movie kind of is about, and and it's just everything you're saying, Rebecca, and everyone we're talking about. It's just it's all part and parcel with just how we try to tell people to be and how you're allowed to like there's a person you are, and then you're told like this is how you can express that. That's how you're supposed to do it because of how you're seen by the world. Whether a guy, a girl, white, black, whatever. Like you're told like this is how you have to be because of the way the world sees you in this way. And it's like actually we can build something different that lets you express who you want to be to the world, and the world accepts that. And I think that's a lot of where a lot of the issues we see in society comes today is like people like this is who we are, this is how we want to treat each other, and being like no, this is how you have to be because we want you to be this way for whatever system we've created.
Yeah, that's good. Anyways, I love everybody. I love the men. I love the women. I love anybody. Like I love everyone. I don't care. And so everybody deserves love. I don't. No, everybody. But people who ain't no good. Got to be clear. Again, I'm gonna end with people who ain't no
not
good.
Not Henry Kissinger. Not
you know who you are.
People who find out that they have a problem and know that it may be something that is systemic or something that stemmed from your environment or whatever, and still choose to do people dirty. It ain't you I'm talking to. But I'm just talking about people who just, generally were just they're having a hard time figuring it out and are hurting people in the process, but want to stop. There's help somewhere with somebody. People may be sick of you. Somebody may be willing to just hear you out. You deserve to be here and rehabilitate or whatever, because I believe that good people deserve grace. So
yeah, I agree. Well,
that's my rant. Look, it came on. Yeah.
This was a very artistic, like inspiring episode of Leftist Mafia. Usually we're just like either talking about the dumbest shit for 2.5 hours, or we're ranting about genocide.
Oh boy.
We switch it up a lot. Okay. Last week we talked about international politics. The week before that, we talked about the Trump verdict. We could do a lot. We're very multi-dimensional on the left.
We didn't talk about Hunter Biden this week. I mean, that's.
We should.
Yeah.
I actually did a video on Hunter Biden.
I watched the video.
Hunter Biden innocent. Hunter Biden innocent.
Yeah. Honestly, by the time I prepared all of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, I'm like, I've already lost interest. Like I'm so over this. Like I don't give a shit.
I think everyone's just like, yeah, okay, he got caught. The system worked as planned, right? You probably shouldn't get guns if you're high on drugs, and he tried to, and that's ended the deal, right? Like, what more is there to say? I'm not a Hunter Biden truther or anything. Like it seems very cut and dry.
I do really like how the right wing folks who do just go like, see, you're right there. We got him. They're gonna blow it up, and it's just like none of us. Like we don't care. Like we're not saying that's over Hunter Biden. It's like yeah, good. I'm glad he got convicted.
So the system doesn't work when it's Donald Trump, but the system works when it's Hunter Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Same DOJ too. And on one end, it's part of a deep plot. Some kind of
I was gonna say
all that shit happening, right? They're like, oh, this is the deep state and the cabal working in conjunction with the Bidens and all that kind of stuff. And then, but it's the same DOJ who also went after the president's son. So
Hunter Biden is just a sacrificial lamb, so Biden can make it seem like the system is balanced after they went after Trump. It's all part of Biden's plan.
It's all part, and if he didn't go to jail, it's all like why you see the system, and it's like the same system. Like, don't do that, because now we can really delve into what the system is doing, because the system doesn't work as it's supposed to when it's certain people, marginalized Black people. Okay, but all of a sudden, when it's Donald Trump, now you can relate and understand, but it's working as it's supposed to, right? He ain't gonna do no jail time though, but here we are, right? And Hunter Biden, of course, like his father, had to be president and stand up and be like, that's my son, but he got to go. Whatever happens, happens. I let him know. We talked about it. It is what it is. Love you, mean it. But you did that, and I'm president, so I gotta. I can't.
Biden is like, if he dies, he dies.
It is
I don't give a shit.
I mean, it is. And then I was looking at like, dang, Hunter aged so quickly. Like, it was just like
he looks like his dad.
Twins. Yeah, identical. I'm not saying that he looks bad, but he aged so quickly. I know he got a lot going on, and so. I don't know, but I know his dad would prefer. I can tell how much his dad loves him, like from how much we've heard him speak about him and of his family.
Oh, it's the stuff that right wingers go after. It's like the most humanizing thing about Joe Biden. Like, I hate Joe Biden. I think of him as, again, like a genocidal freak now. But like every single time, it's like, oh, by the way, he really loves his son. I'm like, what?
So what? He loves his son. Yeah, ain't no good. People have kids that just turn the corner. Like, you can't do anything about that. I mean, but are you gonna give? It depends. Some people may give up on their child. Some people may not. Like, and that's your choice. This is a dad. This is a father. This is somebody who loves their child, experienced loss, and else, all of that. So this child may want to hold on to a little bit more. We're seeing this play out. In society, national television. We're seeing this play out in the public. So our views and our opinions are going to be more so of, oh, that's the president, that's the president's son, and in a political view. But outside of that, there is a human factor to it. That's his son. And as much as he is saying, I gotta whatever Hunter did, he did it. And you think he wants to say that? No, I'm pretty sure he wants to love on his son, protect his son, but his son's choices at that grown ass age have been terrible. But he still views his son as his baby boy. Nobody can take that away from him. Like, that's just what it is. But the right's gonna be like, oh, Hunter support. Joe Biden supports Hunter, so that's his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other. Were you shocked? Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because Trump hates his kids doesn't mean that Joe does.
Yeah,
too, you know?
don't even
Just because
like-
conservatives have disowned their kids and their kids have disowned them, doesn't
They
mean
don't know
that
their
it's the same
kids.
for
They don't know their
everyone.
kids. They never seen their kids.
Yeah.
COVID probably gave them the most time they spent with their kids. They don't know them. They don't know their kids.
And they grew apart during that time.
Grew apart. I don't like my dad. Oh, we saw them videos. Y'all saw them videos of representatives' children putting their parents out on TikTok. Okay. My mom's a racist. I hate her. Yeah. It was all over TikTok.
You know what's funny about that is, you know how there's so many right wingers who are obsessed with like breeding. We have to have more kids. We need more children. I was like, that's not. They're like, we're gonna get rid of the left. Higher Right Check said that today. I'm gonna have like 8 kids and we're gonna outbreed the left. I was like, do you not realize that you don't have genetic predisposition to be like a right winger or a left winger? Like you could have a whole bunch of left wing babies. You'll never know. They could grow up to be radical communists. You don't know that yet.
My
right?
babies will be strong. There's good seed. Good stock here.
Good seed. Yeah, unbacked seed. The unvaxxed.
Well, they think that they can insulate their children.
They do the same
from
thing.
the woke.
They do the same thing about like LGBTQ people, where they're like, "Oh, how are you supposed to have more gay kids? Like, where are the future LGBTQ people gonna come from if the gays marry each other?" It's like, wait, do you think that only gay people could produce
gay people?
all of that, like I did a video on this recently. Like all that anti-queer stuff is based in like eugenics nonsense. Like you look at all the anti-trans shit that they push, where it's like, oh, they're turning our young girls into boys, and they're ruining their reproductive systems, and they won't be able to get babies, and they're ruining their breasts or whatever. It's all this like weird like essentialization of women, like infantilizing trans men, and they only care about white trans men, right? It's only white trans men who like were ruining their ability to breed for being like they don't give a shit about trans men. They just want these people who they see as young white girls to be able to like breed more kids and be
goes
controlled
back to controlling women.
Yeah. And just trans.
I think they have a shiny new way of doing it.
Yeah.
Somebody made a joke. This is about IVF because of course they're policing all parts of women's bodies, or men. They policing everything and everybody. They want everything to be a nice Hitler type vibe out here. But so they're like, somebody said they against IVF. How are you against IVF? Because Jesus was the original IVF baby. Because it's good. It's good. That was a good job. Because they want to always throw out the Bible that they hold upside down. That they don't read. They want to do those kind of things, and they don't. They're not actual. They don't go to church, but they'll pull up to what's that white lady that was talking about African angels? Whoever. They'll go.
Is that Paula White?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's Paula White. They'll go to these people and Joel Osteen, they go there one day, and then they don't really know the Bible, but they want to, when it comes to like stuff like IVF or whatever, abortion, those things, reproductive system, they will try to evangelical you to death and be like, oh, the word says, the Bible says, the whatever. It's folks that are known to have affairs. It's folks that utilize abortion to their favor. Their side chicks are having abortions like nobody's business, or whatever the case may be. They're benefiting. They can pay them off. They can send them to a state that works, but yet they're presenting as these are all problematic things, and then they want to utilize Jesus when it's recent IVF thing. Now, if you want to talk about Jesus, and shout out to Jesus because I love him, but Jesus he wasn't conceived between Mary and Joseph. Holy Spirit done impregnated Mary, biblically. And so it's giving real spiritual IVF. So what y'all like, if y'all want to talk about that, like, let's be for real.
I love that concept, spiritual IVF. That is actually a really cool way of framing that, actually. I love that. Yeah.
That's how gay people are having babies.
Listen,
Holy Spirit just
it's the Bible.
It's in the Bible.
Yeah, it is. If they want to quote it, they want to talk about that, because it's really given how Biden was at the recent Juneteenth joint with the gospel people singing. He didn't know a thing, stiff, didn't know nothing, was uncomfortable, it was like he was in another place. That's how, if you were to put these people while they want to quote the Bible in anywhere where you ask them, okay, where in the Bible does it say IVF is wrong? It's nowhere. You can't point that out. There's nothing that says that. This is opportunity. I believe that God created these people to give opportunity to people to have children if they can't or whatever in a certain kind of way. They have this option here, but here go Republicans, just loud and wrong and unpracticing hypocrites.
People who keep quoting the Bible rarely
pick one part of the Bible. Like, what part are you going to pick, right? If Charlie Kirk is getting mad and saying, like, in Leviticus, it says to stone a gay person to death, it also says that it's like a cardinal sin to wear two kinds of fabric at the same time. So you can't wear two different weaves.
Women can wear pants somewhere in the Bible. Okay.
Shellfish.
Yeah, have you ever eaten any shellfish? Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, let us not forget in Deuteronomy, it says that if your wife grabs the nuts of the guy that you're arguing with, you have to chop off her hand and show absolutely no mercy whatsoever. So, if you're following it to the T.
That's what I'm saying. I'm Christian.
Does it say that exactly, Mike? The nuts part and everything?
I can get the actual verse.
There's another verse about if a horse crushes a man's nuts, he will never see the kingdom of heaven. Something like that. Where, like, if you don't have balls, you can't get into heaven. I was like, what the fuck?
Balls are spiritual. Balls are pure.
Apparently.
Well, I'm out. But yeah, it's also like translation stuff too. Like a lot of it's just translation things. Like one of the ones that this is nothing to do with any like practical, but one of the cool ones that I found most interestingly that is like the first line of the Bible is mistranslated, where it's often says like people say in the beginning, when actually the way it should be translated is something along the lines of when God chose to start creating. Which means that like the difference in implication is like there was stuff before God decided to start creating things. So it just even something as basic as the very first line of the Bible has like a different way of thinking about it if you translate it differently. So I can't imagine for all the other stuff.
All of these Republicans talking about, go by the Bible, they've been having sex. Ain't no ring on their finger. Listen, I just don't walk around. It's very hypocritical. You're choosing when to grab Bible verses and to spew them out. You're weaponizing them. And you're only using this one little part, but what was before that and what was after that? And how did you interpret it? Where did you get where did you come to this consensus that this is the way? And that's the problem. And then you're getting it from Donald Trump. Come on now.
2 Corinthians guy.
2 Corinthians. Holding the Bible upside down. They never been in church.
Quote?
Right. He be in church, not
all of them.
It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah. What I've come to realize, because I grew up with a lot of like religious trauma with my family being evangelical. And I used to think that they got these hateful beliefs like from the Bible. But as you grow older and you meet more people, you tend to realize that the way that you interpret the Bible is literally just a reflection of your character. So if you're a hateful person, you're going to find those hateful verses. If you're a loving person, you're going to find those loving verses. Yeah. So it's not necessarily like I used to think that, oh my God, if it wasn't for religion, then my sister, she would be more accepting. No, it's just, it's kind of like, it's a reflection of who you are. I did find that verse, by the way. I did butcher it a little bit, but for the most part, it's still very interesting. So this is Deuteronomy 25, verses 11 and 12. Quote, if 2 men, a man and his countryman, okay, so it's 4 men, are struggling together, and the wife of one comes near to deliver her husband from the hand of the one who is striking him, and puts out her hand and seizes his genitals, then you shall cut off her hand, you shall not show pity. So just to kind of like put the image in your head. So imagine you got 4 guys, they're brawling, they're fighting, and she's like, hey, don't you dare hit my husband. She like just randomly grabs his nuts.
Because that's a sensitive
everybody
area
has to stop fighting.
From what I hear.
And you're like, well, now get the axe. We're chopping off your hands. And then she's crying, and you want to show concern because it's your wife, but nope, you have to show no pity whatsoever.
Because you can't, because you're a man.
That gives that story
Rebecca's points.
that gives the same vibes of like those really specific rules at like venues or something, where it's like they made this rule because it happened once and they needed to have like a rule for it.
It's very specific. Suspiciously specific.
Specific vibes.
Have you guys watched the the documentary, the TikTok dance joint, like the.
Oh, I heard about that, Rebecca.
Baby, listen,
it's like a cult, right?
I'll go watch it because it really went left. I thought it was. I didn't know, and all I know is what I didn't know, and now I know, and I'm uncomfortable about that because it's in my brain, and so it has to do with religion. Why? How? What? What? How did they get there?
TikTok answers.
People abuse religion. They will weaponize religion. They will utilize it and create like. I believe that all religions are culty. Whatever. Again,
absolutely.
I'm a Christian. I go to church every Sunday, not every Sunday, kind of whatever. But I might do bedside Baptist. But I know that any group, like even organizations, whatever, it can be culty. It can, by definition. So with that being said, this thing. It was the red Kool-Aid type folks. That's all I gotta say without ruining the whole thing for you. But just knowing that they can take TikTok people, dancers, and people who weren't even believers, and with religion and money, and weaponize that and make them do things and fool them for more than 20 years, right? TikTok wasn't out 20 years ago, so it was just regular people. But then you start to gradually come up and
what's it called?
What is it called? Dancers of TikTok dance or something like that. Dancing with the Devil TikTok, something like that, right? On Netflix. And it's so sad. 2 cases that are too similar from 2 different decades on there. And that's how I know this ain't, you got to be careful. I know it's hard because he prays the person preys on people who are vulnerable and looking for something, whether it's looking for a better living, money, or it's looking for community. That's how people will pray. Some people will use religion to prey on those people and take all their coin or whatever the case may be. So
dancing for the devil, the 7 million TikTok code.
Yes. 7M, whatever.
7M,
yeah. You gotta watch it. I'm telling you, it's only 3 episodes, but it's just like I was just I was so sleepy, but I'm like, what's happening next? Why did he do that? Did she free herself? Did he get out? It's so crazy because you would not think that this is what is going on in that world. But imagine if that's what's going on in that world, and then they have a view of where it started from. You can imagine other people. I mean, not just your favorite evangelical pastor on television or whatever, televangelist, black, white, or in between. It's all like you can imagine what they're doing behind the scene. That's why I go back to Diddy and how Diddy partnered with TD Jakes, and whom I've listened to TD Jakes since I was younger. That's a big person in my household. Love his sermons, love his daughter, Sarah Jakes. But just knowing how Diddy's behind immediately partnered with him in the last few years with TD Jakes, it made me wonder who else, what's going on? Did they know what's that looking like? Is it money, involved? Like it made me think like with that whole thing. So yeah,
probably both.
Yeah, y'all gotta watch it. I ain't lying. Y'all gotta watch it. It's a good little watch. Y'all gotta watch it.
I just canceled my Netflix, and then as soon as I cancel, everybody's like, "Oh, here's all these amazing shows you need to check out." It's like, God damn it!
You don't watch Net. Like I haven't seen. I am trying to cancel everything to try to budget out, and I'm like, dang, what the hell? I have Netflix, but they about to be off. But I'm like, I have not watched Netflix at all. But when they talked about this particular show, I'm like, let me just see what that's about. And I'm like, dang, just when I found the show, is there any more shows like this? Like, what else can I watch on here? But I really don't watch Netflix. Like, I have been paying for it for years, and it's been started out at $7.99.
Well, if you want another streaming service that's really cheap.
Oh yeah, Nebula.
I was gonna say, Mike, it's a better streaming service, Nebula.
Nebula. You were talking about that. Let me just put that in.
I kind of cycled as well, where it's like, okay, I used to just have them all because I would give out passwords to family, but then Netflix took that away, so it's like, bye.
I used to share it with a bunch of family members. I've divested myself of a ton of streaming services like Max and all that jazz. Is like
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if I'm watching a show, I'll subscribe, and then I'm gonna turn.
It's
it
like
off.
just give me cable back at this point, because wasn't that what satellite was like? Like now we're doing the same. We're paying separately for what we had before. Like this ain't right. Y'all doing us dirty.
Yeah,
y'all playing us for fools. Okay,
and they're increasing too, and it's they're learning that like it's an unsustainable business model. So you're seeing like, oh, they have these like they're always increasing prices. Like I think just what was it, Disney Plus or one of them just increased their price recently. And then you're also getting like the bundles that they're doing. You have the Paramount Plus, which is like leaking money for them. So they're trying to sell to I think what was it, Skydance, but then that deal's fallen through. So like it's everyone just like they're all realizing this is just an unsustainable business model. Sorry, this is like Hollywood stuff, so I've been thinking about a lot. Just it's just this like crisis point in so many ways that they just don't know how to sustain this nonsense. And so it's just like increasing money, costs, all that jazz. And it's just it's just part and parcel with so much we're seeing today too. It's just money thing, everything costing more because
it's so bad. Everything just costs so much more. I remember before they let me go at the people job, a lot of the conversations that are going on in this last year are people who I seen were able to sustain their accounts, right? With this company that will soon be named. Okay. But with this company that I was working for, and a lot of the conversations with them, again, I talked to mostly migrant people, but the line of credit was also offered to everybody. So I also talked to some rich folks, right? Who were no longer able to sustain their accounts. And, but they were talking about how, damn, I'm paying for so much. I'm paying for this, I'm paying for that. Everything has gotten expensive. They're older people. A lot of them are older as well. They're used to the economy looking a certain kind of way and being able to pay a certain kind of way. Now, the effects of everything, losing their businesses, stuff like that, everything going up, they're going to the store thinking, or they're going to look for help thinking that it's going to cost a certain amount. But this time around, it's like tripled in price for this or that or whatever the case may be. So like, just the whole phrase of being able to sustain a livable wage, that should be problematic. That should be enough for us to be in the streets, just be mad, you know, just outraged. Like, because why? I have a 9-to-5 and I'm struggling, but I have to, is this a livable wage? And a lot of people are just not able to sustain a lot of the things that they were used to. And people are still, like, companies are still taking advantage by just like, hey, we're going to go up $1 more. And then like a month later, $3 more. And then like a month later, like $5 more. And then your rent, as I talked about how my rent started out at a certain amount. And then we're at like, I'm paying close to almost $1,000 more from 2020 to 2024.
Yeah. It's just like, what is this? If we're not giving, if we can't like give people a livable wage, like, then what is this for? What are we even doing? Like, what's society do? Society should be there to like sustain people and let people live. And if we can't do that, what is this even for? What are we even doing? And I mean, obviously, just to make profits and squeeze every ounce out of people. But
I'm just gonna close my blinds. I'm at a point where I literally can't see.
I was watching you the whole time. You're just like, it's just like you're getting baked in the sun. It's like
it's giving comfy in the home. It's giving comfy in the home.
Well, should we get to super chats?
I think we should.
All right. Well, before we transition to the next part of the show, real quick, Jessie, you are free to stay or go. We always tell our guests they can stay as long as they want, but sometimes to go for a while. But before you do, can you plug your stuff one more time and plug your movie one more time?
Yes, please. Thank you so much. So my movie is Identiteaze. It is a science fiction thriller, like I said, starring John Delancey, Star Trek The Next Generation fame, Abigail Thorne of Star Wars The Acolyte and House of the Dragon fame, and also Maggie Mae Fish, who many people know here from YouTube. It is a science fiction thriller, but it's about the corporatization of identity, as well as being a very queer film. It was made by mostly queer and trans and women and people of color behind the scenes. So I'm very proud of it. It is releasing on June 25th on the streaming service Nebula. And the big thing to just really say, like, I hope everyone watches it and loves it and supports it, but we hope that it is the beginning of a much larger story. So Nebula is looking to possibly fund more episodes of it. because it's meant to be sort of a proof of concept pilot to tell more stories. It's 45 minutes as sort of a pilot episode. So if you do want to support it, sign up for Nebula nebula.tv/IDENTITEAZE. That's nebula.tv/Identiteaze. And that'll let them know that you want to see more. But even if it doesn't get to tell more, like, I just hope people love it and enjoy it. It was the biggest joy of my life, I think, other than
congratulations,
professional stuff. So thank you. Yeah. So
That's
congratulations, awesome. Jesse. And it's not even if it doesn't get to tell more, even if they don't do another, episode, it will be able to tell what it tells, and people will be able to speak about it, and it will continue to do what it does. And that means people will tell more. Okay, it's gonna be good for you. You gotta speak good to yourself. Okay.
I know, you're right.
Jesse's
you're right. And that is something I've been doing. No, I appreciate that. Like, that is good.
I'm gonna go check it out. Nebula.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
I think
I'll be watching it.
I think the price is like only like $7.99 or whatever for a month.
June 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. And Jessie Gender on YouTube, right?
Yes. Yeah, I should also do Pock my other words. Jessie Gender on YouTube. That's my main video channel. I have Jessie Gender After Dark, where I do, like, I'm just a big nerd, so I like review House of the Dragon and Star Wars and all that stuff. You can check me out there. And then I'm on all the social medias, Instagram, the artist formerly known as Twitter, and all of that jazz. So
awesome. All right, well, let's do some super chats. Rebecca, do you want me to get to yours first?
Yeah. You already know what it is, because Matt gonna be here. You and Matt gonna be here till 2 a.m.
I hope not. I'm so tired today.
I'm pretty tired too, actually. Yeah.
All of a sudden you're tired.
I'm tired today. Yeah.
Okay. Funky Flesh, thank you so much. Hey, everyone, donate to Jamal Bowman's campaign. Shout out to Jamal Bowman, love him. And volunteer for him and vote for him in the Democratic primary on June 25th. June 25th, Jesse, if you live in his district.
That's a big day.
Yeah, it is. Omega Star, thank you so much. You are such a rock star. Thank you. Thank you. Tokyo Hans, 2,000 yens. Look, yens. I want to make sure. I could be so wrong. I don't know. But the Y with the 2 lines at the bottom. Glad to hear the results were good. Yeah. Stay amazing and enjoy some money. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tokyo. Parker, thank you so much. Idea, June 25th again. A Leftist Mafia election night stream for Bowman. Mm-hmm.
Jamal Bowman? Yeah, I prefer Jamal Bowman.
What was June 25th? Is that like, what day is that? Like, is that Thursday?
It's a Tuesday. It's election day.
Oh, it's a Tuesday. Okay, yeah, look, I should know that. I should know that.
I won't be around at night for it, unfortunately.
You got work to do?
I think the previous Thursday, which is next Thursday, the 20th, that's when we should do more like Jamal Bowman centered content, because on election day it's going to be a little bit too late. We'll just be watching.
We want to get people out there. I'll be doing this thing that weekend right before the election, June 22nd and June 23rd in Tarrytown, New York, in Jamal Bowman's district. That organization, Progressive Victory, is getting a bunch of streamers to come down and knock on doors and canvass for Jamal Bowman and try to convince our viewers who live in the area or want to come out to come join us and knock on doors and do everything we can to get Jamal Bowman to reelected. Because he really is a good politician, a good member of the House, and a good progressive that we have. Yes, and and if he loses, it's going to be because he viewed Palestinian lives equal to everybody else's, because that's the one issue that even caused there to be someone primarying him. Mm-hmm. So it would be a shame to lose him, honestly. So let's do what we can to make sure that he wins.
Yeah, and on the subject of Jamal Bowman, Ole posted a great interview with him. I would highly encourage everyone to watch it, because he talks about the disgusting shit they've been doing. Like, his opponent sent out mailers and they darkened Jamal Bowman's skin.
Yeah, I saw the picture of it. It was fucked.
It's pretty brazen. This is a very common Republican tactic. But it's happening in a Democratic Party primary. Very racist. Also accused Bowman of taking Hamas money. Just outrageous. So the things that they're doing, like, and saying and lying about him, it's so fucked up. Watch that interview, because it gives you just a little bit of insight into what he's dealing with, all for basically speaking up and saying ceasefire.
and that's terrible.
He's been on a real tear. Like the dude is honestly got some real issues. He was just on WNYC radio the other day. A caller called in to call him out for his post on Facebook where he compared what Andrew Cuomo went through. Like he compared Andrew Cuomo to Emmett Till, the lynching of Emmett Till.
That's the most wild shit I've ever heard.
And he like blew up at this woman this woman who called in, and he said like just out of the blue, and the host Brian Lair even called him out for it and said the caller didn't say this. Where he started saying that, I know you're not going to vote for me because I'm not your demographic and you're only going to vote for your own demographic. Basically coming to the conclusion that, oh, the woman who's on the phone, she's black and I'm not black and that's why she's not going to vote for me. He was literally saying that. And, you know, this is a guy who was during a debate with Jamal Bowman recently over Zoom. He basically said that Jamal Bowman doesn't reflect the constituency of NY16. His constituency is more like Dearborn, Michigan and San Francisco, California, basically saying your constituency is Muslims and the gays. Yeah. What do you like? You don't represent the people here in this district. Yeah. Like the dude is absolutely racist, xenophobe, Islamophobe. He's got some real issues, and of course, Hillary Clinton came out to endorse it.
Yeah. It's that same radio interview, by the way, is so hilarious to me how dumb this guy is, because the woman is like, I want you to defend yourself, like all the racist things that he said without tokenizing black people. Because that's how he's defended himself before. He says, I have a black friend. And that's right. He immediately does that. He starts by saying, I've been endorsed by this black group. I grew up with black. Like he immediately starts doing what she said don't do, because you've done that before. I've already heard that. It's just, this guy is such a piece of shit. So yeah, Jamal Bowman has to win.
And I hope that he does. I hope that we do the right thing. June 25th. Yeah, read this Parker one. So next.
Okay, so this is next one.
Fletch again. Thank you so much. Oh, well, that's what he said too. Or they said, I don't know. Thank you so much for talking about men's mental health. There is still a lot of stigma around mental health, especially for men. Also, congrats on being cancer free. Thank you. Thank you. Colt Dog, thank you so much. Rebecca, I'm so happy you're well. I take care of someone with cancer, so I know how horrible it can be. Much love to you, and thanks for repping Tallahassee. I rep Tallahassee only because I'm from Florida, South Florida girl to the day I die, Palm Beach County, to be exact, not to be confused with Donald Trump over there in Mar-a-Lago. But Tallahassee is because I am a product of Florida A&M University, okay, which is in Tallahassee, so the capital of Florida. So, yes. Thank you, Colt Dog. Bay Photo. I always want to say that with a Haitian accent. Bay Photo. I don't know why, but Bay Photo. I've been caring for very sick family members and friends for the last couple of years. It is so emotionally draining. Very glad that weight has finally lifted for you, Rebecca. And I understand. I get it, man. I get that whole thing with caring for a family member, but I, pray for you and your strength and healing for your family members that are going through it, that you're taking care of. And thank you so much. Celeste, Rebecca, thank you for being the first leftist to talk about men's mental health. Seriously, every time I hear leftists talk about this, it's like they forget men are human too. It's just so disappointing. Probably talking about men who don't even know that they can talk about these type of things because they are told they can't. So it's probably that
Rebecca,
kind of thing.
the first leftist ever to talk about men's mental health.
Thank you for putting that on me. And I want to believe it's true, so I'll take it. Celeste, I love you. I mean it. Thank you. Thank you.
Take it.
Lizzie Bennett. Bennett. I don't know. This super chat was overdue. In your last Like It or Not show, Rebecca, you shouted out Saint Martin. I deeply appreciated it. My hubby's fam is from there, and it's a great place to vacay. Oh, really? And I love St. Martin. I have a family member who is from there. So shout out to you, Lizzie. Thank you. Husband must be fine. Infinite content. Rebecca, you've been spitting hot fire like Dylon. Dylon, since you got on the mic tonight. If y'all don't know, Dylon from Making the Band. Okay.
Yeah,
but thank you so much, Infinite. I think that should be it. Okay. Kuya Damon. Yes, I think I feel like I'm getting that right. Kuya Damon. Becca, loving the new profile pic because I did change it because I don't have braces anymore. I'm like, I need to show myself with my good teeth. Becca, loving the new profile pic. Hope mine passes the vibe check too. It does. Love you, mean it. Love you, mean it. Sending love from Southern California. It never rains in Southern California. And happy Pride. Happy Pride. Andrew, thank you so much. Just got off of work. Congrats, Rebecca. Any good news to be celebrated, by the way? Did you see Lance cover Charlie Jerk going back to his roots debating college students? I haven't, but I'm going to check it out.
I'll send it to you.
Please do.
It's fun.
This one we can't see it, but it's a super sticker.
Okay. Nashacat. Nakitat. Nakicat. It might be Nashatek. I don't know, but it's something, and I'm going to get it right. Okay. Right there, Nakacat. Okay. Thank you so much for your super sticker. And I hope that, I got it right.
And last one.
Ford 84. Okay. 84. That's my one of my best friends. I feel like that's one of her angel numbers. Okay. Social democracy, in my opinion, is the best medium for our times, but it's impossible to get there when reality and facts have to be debated. Top of the morning to you all. It's morning. Where you at? Top of the morning. Where you at, Ford? We sleep. Everybody sleep over here.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Well, that's my time. Love y'all. Mean it. Now, if you guys can, I know you guys have been sending these super chats, and I really, truly appreciate the super chats. And I thank you for all the love. But if you guys can, please send over to my Cash App and my PayPal, which is in my the link is pinned in my chat. If you can, I need it, mean it. It will be very, very meaningful for me to stay afloat, especially this month. I love y'all. I mean it. I'm so happy I was with you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoy your weekend for the fathers. Enjoy your weekend for Father's Day. I'm talking to you, Matt. All right, that's
Thank
for
you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. I'm so glad to hear that this week went well for you in terms of your health and everything.
Thank you. Thank you guys. I love you guys and mean it. And to all of you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I'm out. Yeah, I know I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time. Nice to meet you, Jessie.
It's great meeting you.
Nebula, once I get some coins, I'm on it. And June 25th, I'll be watching your show. Love you guys. Bye.
I might also bid adieu as well, if that's all right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jessie, for coming on.
Thank you for letting me come on and promote my film. It really means a lot, because don't have much marketing budget, so just anything we can do to get it out there, I appreciate.
I'll be watching it.
Yeah. Thank you.
I will be sending it to Matt Walsh. Saying
yes, please do. I know.
I really think
I want to crack
do
his
that. Yeah,
I want to crack Matt Walsh. Honestly, it's not a terrible idea, or it's the worst idea, the best idea. We'll see. But anyways, I adore y'all. Take care. I suddenly look very, very orange for some reason in this shot. I don't know why. Anyways,
my child's school did the Clockwork Orange thing to his eyes and made them watch.
Identiteaze.
Watch it now. All right, bye y'all.
Take care. Lance, are you linked up?
Too close.
I don't know. Let me check. No, because I'm streaming for a different thing, but I can read them out. I only have a few.
Okay, feel free.
All right. It's just the men in the chat now. Just the men.
Yeah,
here
now it's time for man talk.
All right, time to be tough, guys.
Stuff.
No more.
Yeah, no more tears. All right, come on. Let's get straight. Thank you, Comrade Junkie, for the $5. Pumped to be here live for the Leftist Mafia. Don't really have anything to ask the squad. Keep doing what you're doing. Love y'all. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And thank you for gifting the 2 Tier 1 Surf Times memberships. Very, very kind of you. Funky Fwesh, who donated earlier to Rebecca with the $10, says, hey, everyone, donate to Jamal Bowman's campaign and volunteer for him. Vote for him in the Dem primary on June 25th if you live in his district. I think everyone here is in agreement. We're doing that next Thursday, I guess. Jamal Bowman's stuff. Pumps.
We'll have a Jamal Bowman day.
All right.
Jamal Bowman themed episode somehow.
We should, and I'm gonna throw this out here. I don't know if it's gonna even be a possibility, but we should reach out and see if he would come on.
I would love to have him on. I think that would be great.
He doesn't follow me on Twitter. I don't think I'm that.
I mean, it's the show is late, so it's not like we would take away time where he could be campaigning. You know, you can't campaign past a certain time. People don't want you knocking on doors at 11 p.m.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we'll try to make that happen. If somebody has the connect, we'll try to make it happen.
I'll reach out to the team. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me. Okay, I'll keep going. Comrade Junkie, thank you for the other $5. Find me, man who didn't cry at the junkyard scene at the end of Toy Story 3, and I'll show you a psychopath. Or the start of Up, I would say. Chokyu Hands, thank you for the 500 yen. The sun has come out and provided Lance with some natural bisexual lighting, or just blinding, more like the blinding light of God. Comrade Junkie with the $2. Close your blinds. I have. And Septima with the $2. Oh my God, Jesse, big fan. Can't wait for your movie. I agree. I'm very excited for Identiteaze. It looks fucking awesome. It honestly combines so many genres that I love. I love scary movies. I love horror films. I love sci-fi. I love psychological films too. You know, that looks to be you know, there's some influence by the Wachowski sisters. You could definitely say in the way the movie looks too. So I'm very excited for that. Just nothing but good things to say. It looks cool. I like people involved. Maggie Mayfish is awesome. One of the first people who was ever a big creator and worked with me when I just reached out, said, "Can you do the vocals for my video game feminism blah 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 video?" And she was super nice.
Oh, that's
I was like,
cool.
"Yeah, totally. Here you go." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." So
nice.
Yeah, very good person.
Chico's so sweet, just sitting there living his best life, comfortable as hell. Love it.
Like, honestly, could we all be this peaceful? This is like this
Right?
life goal. It's relaxation, just completely.
Man, sprawled out, love it.
I love when he takes blankets and wraps them around himself, as he's doing right now. You can actually see it. He's wrapped it around his head. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, so thank you, Charlotte Roy, for becoming a member. This one is for David Doel, I'm assuming, because of the subject matter. Kaya
is he
Demon.
okay, by the way? Should we talk about this?
Like,
should I reach out?
I don't know if I should blow his cover here, but I'm pretty sure that, like, whatever happened was fixed pretty quickly, and then he just decided to watch the Stanley Cup final.
It is the Stanley Cup, and he left at the time.
Oilers are getting smoked right now too.
It's over. It's over. If they lose today, it's over.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I know, but it was 4-2 last I checked. I had it in the corner.
But he did mention
it's 4-3. Wait, they got a little bit of time to tie it up. They could do this.
Come back. They could tie it up.
Yeah. But they're already down two. They're down 2 games though.
Yeah, I know.
Down 2 games.
They're about to lose. Yeah, dude.
If they lose, it's going to be hard to come back. If they lose one more game, it's over.
Yeah.
If they lose,
but from what I've heard, though, the Panthers were just the better team. Like it's like they've been just playing better throughout the entire. And I'm not a Panthers fan, but the Panthers.
I'm not an anyone but Canucks fan. I'm incredibly bitter. I like the whole country. Canada's going nationalistic right now. Everyone's like, we have to root for the Oilers. The whole country's coming together. It's happening. And I was like, no. Everyone must suffer as I suffer at all times.
Yeah.
All right. Well, prayers for David Doel. I hope that it's just him watching the Stanley Cup and not the tornado, because I did hear the wind when he played it, so I'm a little bit worried. We'll reach out and make sure he's in okay. A little bit concerning. Happy SMT.
Maybe he's in Oz.
So SMT Shin Megami Tensei, I believe that's a game that David's playing too. I've not started it, but decided on Octopath Traveler 2. That's a good choice. Have you played? And you think Edmonton can win this year? So I've played Octopath, so I'll answer that for David. Amazing game. As for Edmonton, I'll leave it to the hockey experts. What do you think?
I thought they came in having a good chance. They literally have the best player in the NHL, McDavid, and he's like usually just like an absolute, like he's stunning to watch. It's like watching like a young, no one will ever be as good as Gretzky in sports. Gretzky literally has like every single title and everything to such a high degree that no other human athlete can ever come close. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's like Michael Phelps. No one can beat Michael Phelps. The man was engineered in a lab to be the world's best human.
He literally has a biological advantage.
Yeah, I know he does. He has a massive biological advantage. It's just like his angles, the length of his arms, his like lung capacity, everything. It's like if you designed a human to be good at one specific thing, he is that, in that. But anyways, yeah, I thought Edmonton was going to be the better team, but yeah, what more can I say? It's happening literally right now. So I don't know, Matt. Anything to add?
That might explain our views are lower than usual this week. we're competing with Stanley Cup. I think this is for David Doel. Comrade Junkie with $5. Just want to say this was supposed to be for Mike, but he blew it by limiting chat for 20-minute subs. Love the show. Well, thank you on behalf of David Doel. I do that because I don't want to get rated. I've got rated a couple of times, like hate rated a couple of times, and it just creates a headache for the mods. So that kind of fair. That kind of stops that from happening. Okay. This one is for Matt or David.
Oh, hold on. I forgot to check. I forgot to pull up. Hold on. 1 second. Uh-oh.
Oh, it does say for you, Matt.
It's for me. Hold on.
I just read it. I was like, whoa.
No, that's not for me.
It's not?
That's not for me. Very funny. I think it's for you, Mike, and they're joking. Yeah.
Oh. I don't see that, but I will read it. Okay. Ask Jessie why she called a black content creator a C. You won't enjoy the tip, Matt. I don't know.
It wasn't for me. It's not in my chat.
Yeah.
That's funny. It was a hate message sent that was sent to the wrong person and donated to the wrong person.
Yeah, because it's not.
Is it in David Doel's thing?
I think it's David Doel's, yeah, because it's not in mine. No. Yeah. I don't know if that's. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, so I cannot ask. And she's gone. So.
It's
but
a
we
troll
do
from our chat. Gotcha. It's a troll.
Okay. 5 gifted subs.
Wait, hold on. You did miss one from me. You did miss my first.
Did I?
Maybe you read it. Comrade Junkie.
Oh yeah, we did read this one. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed it. That one was from me. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Comrade
I thought
Junkie,
it was from David Doel. Okay.
No, just want to say this was supposed to be for Mike, but he blew. Okay, got it. Tokyo Hans, thank you so much for gifting for the 5 memberships. I really appreciate it. This one's for me too. This one's for me too. Orpheus with the super chat. Happy Pride Month, Slava Ukraine. Shapiro is a cringe fascist. Wow, you got like 3 concise and separate thoughts in there. That was good. It's a good super chat. You got your money's worth.
Yeah.
This is also for me. Funky Fwesh with the super chat. Hey everyone, donate to Jamal Bowman's campaign and volunteer for him and vote for him in the Dem primary on June 25th if you live in the district. Absolutely. And once again, June 22nd and June 23rd in Tarrytown, New York. It's about, I want to say maybe 45 minutes outside of Manhattan. It's not far. If you're in the Bronx, maybe it's about like 25, 30 minutes away. We will be knocking on doors, a bunch of streamers. I believe there's a rumor, I'm not sure if it's confirmed, that Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland will be making an appearance. I do know there's other people showing up. I don't have the whole list in front of me. I think Vosh is going to be there. But yeah, it's go to progressive. Wait, hold on. I have the URL. Hold on. Progress.win/New York for all the details. We got to do what we can for Jamal Bowman. We got to get him reelected.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this one's for me. Comrade Junkie, $5. Have you heard about the In Praise of Shadows drama? What the fuck is it about? From what I understand, it's basic Chud media illiteracy. I have not heard anything about this. In Praise of Shadows. I know there's some video game drama with the Summer Games Fest and whatnot because some of the games are quote unquote woke, but that's like nothing new. They have protagonists that are not white dudes. But in terms of this, I don't know. So I honestly can't speak to it. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's for me. Oh, thank you.
So.
Kuya Damon with a super chat. You don't get enough praise for your interview Skills Matt. I enjoyed your doomed interview yesterday with Sam from Progressive Victory. Will donate to Bowman. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I had the guy who runs Progressive Victory on my stream last night. And I asked him for, I had questions for him about Progressive Victory that we had a private conversation when they reached out to to ask me to do the Bowman, invite me to do the Bowman thing. And so if people are going to take part, if I'm going to ask my audience and other streamers' audience to come out, I know a lot of progressives, a lot of leftists had questions about the organization. I had him on, and he was very gracious in answering the questions to the best of his ability. There are obviously some things he could not answer. To me, the main things about certain streamers who used to work with them, no longer, who are now not very problematic, Brianna Wu, they don't work with them at all anymore. So that was the most important thing to get out of it. People, in this space, we need to be legit and real with our viewers, because if that's what people come to expect, at least from me. You're getting the full details, disclosure, whatever you need from me. I give you anything and everything I can in terms of knowing everything you should know about what's going on. And any sort of questions and concerns that weren't answered about that organization, you don't have to support everything they do. They're just putting together this event for Jamal Bowman. There's no shady things going on. They're getting streamers there. They're paying for the streamers' hotel room and they're feeding them. And the hope is the streamers can bring out their fans to come join them in knocking on doors for Jamal Bowman. It's pretty simple.
It's important to note that this is completely disconnected from Bowman's campaign too.
And
right?
it's completely disconnected from Bowman's campaign. They cannot work with Jamal Bowman's campaign. But yeah.
All right. I believe this is for you.
Is my mic popping?
A little bit, but just on your high notes, I'd say. Otherwise,
okay.
fine.
I'm gonna. Maybe I have it too loud. Hold on. Let me turn down the volume a bit here on my end. All right. Maybe this is a little better. Can you still hear me? Is my volume fine?
Your volume is low now.
You can hear it, but it's low. But it's still popping for me.
Just scream everything you need to say. Scream it.
Yeah.
Screamo stuff.
Hold on. Let me. All right. Let me just. I'll keep reading and fix my volume while I'm reading. Tony Rizzo with a membership super chat. What do Elon Musk and Tony Stark have in common? They are both proof the best thing a billionaire can be is imaginary. Thank you, Tony.
I like that.
I agree.
All right. Maybe this fixed the popping. I don't know. I put the gain down on my mic.
Still popping, but now it's popping and it's softer. So I would turn it back up because it doesn't seem like the lowering it really.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't know the second part to the super chat. I'd heard about the first half about Ilaria Salas, who beat up a Nazi at a far right rally. I saw the video clip of that. I didn't know she won an EU seat while in prison. That's metal. That story is fucking metal.
Oh yeah,
Holy
Rachel Atwood. Y'all heard about the Antifa warrior? How do you say her first name? Ilaria Salas.
Ilaria Salas, I think.
Ilaria Salas, who beat up a Nazi at a far right rally in Hungary and just won an EU seat for Italy while in prison. I did hear about this, and the great thing is she can't be in prison anymore because she won. She won the seat. Yeah, that's bad.
That's amazing. And Tokyo Han sent a member chat to David. Stay amazing, David.
Hopefully.
Yes, hopefully he's okay. Zia Spots with $10. Thank you, Zia. We have to stop dehumanizing Arabs and Muslims in general. Shows like NCIS and the news media mostly post 9/11 did this. Oh, yeah, it's been so bad.
Also, the whole new atheist movement.
The new atheist movement, media, news, it's baked in to media institutions and culture. And I think that, we're at the stage where more people are catching it and now it's just a matter of like calling it out and stopping it. But it's ubiquitous, right? So it's a multiple generations long project. But like starting to reverse course, like with our generation, is I think really important because it's rampant. Funky Flesh with $10. Thank you. Hey everyone, donate to Jamal Bowman's campaign and volunteer for him and vote for him in the Dem primary on June 25th if you live in his district. Absolutely, yes. 100%. Anything you can do. If you have no money and no time, take a couple of seconds to just share something regarding Jamal Bowman, because part of this is messaging as well. Because if you live in that district, people are saying that they see ads like every half an hour, which is so ridiculous. So if you can counteract that, and people in the district, and can share something about Jamal Bowman or share something negative about his opponent, I think that can potentially help. This one's for you, Bender.
I just messed up my mic. I was trying to fix it, and now I think it's completely broken.
Oh no!
Wouldn't be Leftist audio without Leftist audio.
Yeah.
So we got that.
Well, I'm sure you're hearing my AirPods now. I'm sure it doesn't sound great, but can you make out what I'm saying?
I can make out what you're saying. Yeah.
All right. Tokyo Hans with Super Chat.
Okay, go ahead.
Happy early Father's Day to a fellow dad, as well as to Binder Dad. Thanks for being part of making a wonderful person. Oh, thank you, Tokyo Hans. It's very nice, very sweet.
What were you gonna say, Lance?
Well, now I'm gonna say that I can barely hear you. sounds like you're so far away. But I got another $5 from Comrade Junkie. Does nobody know the horror movie YouTube channel In Praise of Shadows? Do you guys know In Praise of Shadows?
I've never heard of it. No.
All right, I'll check it out.
They said it was a horror YouTube channel. Oh, okay.
No, I've never watched this before. I will though. I'll check it out. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm assuming this is for David Doel. So also from Funky Flesh. I'll read it again. Thank you, Funky Flesh. Hey everyone, donate to Jamal Bowman's campaign and volunteer for him and vote for him in the Dem primary on June 25th if you live in his district. Thanks for getting the word out, Funky Flesh. Okay, this one is from Tokyo Hans. This is for me. Thank you, 1,000 yen. Dog dads are dads too. Puppy papas. Happy early Father's Day, Mike. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Same to Lance as well. Happy Father's Day, Lance.
I'm not a father. To Chico. That's true.
You're a puppy.
Oh, he never heard that. He's sleeping. It's fine. I didn't mess up. Yeah,
it's Father's Day for me, and also my son's birthday this month. I think on the 21st. He's gonna be 11 years old.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was cute. He got a little a birthday card from we order his stuff from Chewy. It's kind of like an Amazon type, but for pet stuff. It's like, hey, happy birthday. I'm like, oh yeah, it's his birthday. Shit.
Okay. For a full second, I was like, he is talking about his dog, right? I was like, did I not know this whole time that I had a kid? I was like, but I don't want to be the awkward one to be like, am I the only one?
Well, I do have a daughter, like an actual human daughter, but I have my dogs too.
Wait, actually? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's 3.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say that's beautiful. Congratulations. I didn't know that either.
A couple of years ago, I went through a phase.
Yeah, I know.
Got someone pregnant, and
well, now we
okay.
know. Now we know.
Yeah, crazy world. Anything's possible. I think this is for Matt. Oh,
it is for me. Wanda with membership super chat. Please share your event for Jamal Bowman with everyone. I did just before. I'm gonna leave really quick to try to fix this mic because I think it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Okay. Well, I'll go through mine here. So this one is from John Barlich, $2. Free my boy Hunter. He's fighting the deep state. Yeah, if they could do it to him, they could do it to you. They're just going through him first. So we've got to...
He's just in the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
After him.
Solidarity with my boy Hunter. You know, us 12-inch penis guys got to stick together. Okay. Forkman 9.99 in Indiana, a measure to, and thank you, by the way, in Indiana, a measure to ban women pastors got 61% support. Thankfully, it lacked the needed 2/3 majority. I'm not religious, but this is some small D energy. Yeah, what the fuck is going on? That's just so pathetic. Wow.
Yeah, unlike the 12-inch club.
Right.
Yeah.
Which all of us are a part of on this show, by the way, except for Rebecca.
All right, I think I fixed it.
Yeah,
I think I did.
You did it.
You're loud again.
I'm loud again. Is it popping still?
You're popping, but you're loud again. It's the end of the show. We got it's fine.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
We'll roll with it.
Yeah.
All
right. This one's for you. Oh no, we did that one. I'm sorry. What is the next one? I'm sorry.
Is
the
that
answer
for me?
to this is yes.
Oh, Parker said, did you all see Fetterman rear-ended a car on I-70? Well, I didn't see him do it, but
I wasn't behind him, but
apparently he was at fault. He was speeding.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Glad that Giselle is okay. Okay. Next one. And this is for you, I think.
Tokyo Hans. Trump gets convicted, whines like a baby. A real alpha over there. Hunter gets convicted, takes it like a champ with head held high. That guy has gone through some shit in his life.
Well, he's also the son of a president, too.
Right.
So we all go through shit.
Mike, have some compassion for the man.
Look, I'm Hunter's my guy. I'm a fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Hunter.
He's doing exactly what you should do with his position. Tons of drugs, tons of sex. Just go for it.
If you're rich, that's the human thing to do.
Exactly.
I think
Pencil Box with a super chat says, "Did any of you see? I saw the TV glow. I did not see it yet. I know you have. I think it's you, Pencil Box, but someone, and I believe it was you, has been asking over and over and over again if I've seen it, and it absolutely looks like a movie that I would absolutely love.
It's good.
I have not seen it yet. I just haven't seen it yet. Is it streaming somewhere?
Yeah. No, it's only in theaters right now. It's like a new A24 film that I don't want to ruin it. Explores a lot of really interesting ideas and themes, but it's one of those movies that I went in thinking it was going to be really scary, and I wanted it to be scary because I like really scary movies, and it's not at all, but it's one of those movies that's really haunting after. It just sits with you for days and days. You're just like, oh, ooh, neat, and creepy. Kind of, it's one of those films. Yeah,
I like those.
Gets in the brain. But yeah, it's really neat. A lot of cool exploration of queer themes, of coming of age themes. Very, very good film.
How's my audio now? Did I fix it? Did I fix it?
God, you blew
it's really loud.
Away.
Oh, it's really loud. How about
that was a jump scare. Speaking of jump scares.
How about now?
Okay,
that's better.
No, you're too quiet. Somewhere in between. Come on.
How about now?
My heart's racing.
Yeah, I know. Ooh, that was a jump scare.
Is my popping?
You're not popping. Now. You're perfect.
Hell
You're perfect.
yeah! All right. Yeah. But I'm not in sync anymore. I bet the audio and video is not in sync.
It's a little slow, but it's better than the popping, I think, and it sounds okay.
All right. I can't get anything right. I don't know what's going on over here. All right, but let's continue.
Yeah, that works. All right, so Jen McMahon with $4.99. Thank you, Jen. It's so sad all the Red Lobsters are closing. Oh, are they? I didn't even know this. Which means our gateways to hell. Did you
actually not?
I literally didn't know this. No. AKA Hellmouth is no longer. LOL. Oh, that sucks.
Okay, so if you didn't know this, it's a funny story because they're going out of business, and all the media, like mainstream media, reported because it was the all you can eat shrimp. Like, why did you have all you can eat shrimp? You knew this was going to happen. This was a terrible idea. Of course, Americans ate all the shrimp in the world and it bankrupted the company. That's what all the media ran with. It's just a classic case of them getting bought out by this guy who just liquidated it because it's way cheaper to liquidate all the assets, declare bankruptcy, and be like, boom, he just acquired it and fucking
No
sold
kidding.
it. Just a corporate takeover, asshole, rich fucking billionaire company. Like, yeah, that's it. It sucks.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know about this. I've never eaten at Red Lobster. I don't like seafood at all. So that's why I've never been there. But I mean, I still should have heard of this.
Apparently
that's
they're
crazy.
most known for a non-seafood item, a delicious like melted cheese biscuit of some kind.
What?
Because I found that out from John Oliver. He bought one of the Red Lobsters.
Oh,
because they're all being liquidated. So he's like, I'm just gonna buy one. And then he's like, he's got one on the set now. He's just got a whole Red Lobster.
Oh my god! Well, now I'll never be able to try it unless it's John Oliver's.
Creflo $50 the super chat. I got HBO Max ad free for half price for 6 months. What are you rubbing it in or something?
Probably sharing it with you as a fan of yours.
No, I know. I bet that was in that was in the context of Rebecca talking about how much streaming services are now. I know what the context was. I'm just being funny. Or a really huge asshole, according to one guy in the chat. I don't know whose chat, not my chat, but one of the group, like in the this is a guy in the StreamYard chat who really does not like me.
What? Who is it? Should we ban him? What's his name?
No, please don't ban him. I love this type of. I love it. I love that type of shit.
Lives for the the chirping, the salt.
I haven't really been looking at the chat, so.
I think it was someone who got mad that and this is exactly the demographic I had a feeling would most respond to the conversation we had today. It was one of the people who got mad at me, I guess, sort of doing one of these to Men's Health.
I don't think you dismissed it.
No, I didn't dismiss it. No, I think. I think the problem is, and who am I to say to Rebecca or Jessie Gender? I think what they said was very legit coming from them. But as a man, and as the only straight man who is on the show, other than David Doel,
David Doel's not straight either.
I do think that the vast majority of men's problems is rooted in the patriarchy, and that is a function of men. I'm sorry, not individual men, of course. Like, listen, I'm not a tough guy. I'm a guy who's
misinterpreted there. But
I have no problem. I've never had any problem displaying my emotions. I'm someone who is in tune with my emotions. When I get sad because I lose someone, my problem is I don't get sad over too much. But
because you're a man.
But no, it's just my personal. I have But I mean, I openly weep and cry when someone I love dies. I remember my kids seeing me cry when I got the news that Michael Brooks died, and they were very concerned for me, and I have no problem with that, because I don't. I understand the patriarchy is the thing that holds men back from doing that, and I totally sympathize and empathize with men, mostly young men, who are guiding through this world, who are feel like they are beholden to that without realizing. It's just also that a lot of the types that respond to that, who aren't necessarily the young men who know, men who are in this political bubble space we are in, they use this to believe that the focus should be on the men. And the reason for that isn't because they really care about other men, but it's to demean and belittle everyone else. I mean, I was in this... I covered the men's rights space for a long time. I was really deep into it in terms of covering it. And these are guys who think that men should be centered and men's feelings should be centered. But the specific men they feel that should be centered are straight white men who hate their wives, who hate their kids, who don't think they should pay for alimony, who don't think they should do all sorts of things like that. I was in that space. They didn't care very much about. At the time, I debated one of the biggest men's rights activist influencers. And he did not give two shits about the big issue at the time was stop and frisk. Why didn't he care about stop and frisk? Because it mostly affected black and brown men. So my interpretation of those conversations, obviously coming from Rebecca and Jessie gender, it's not that. But my interpretation of those conversations are usually different. So if you thought I was dismissive, anyone who watches me knows I'm extremely empathetic.
I don't think you came off as
sympathize.
dismissive personally.
Yes, but usually those conversations are don't focus on the actual issue. Like I'm sorry, but women are not holding men down. It's a system that men in power have created, and with the few women that are in power, sure, they've helped bolster those systems too.
That's the argument put forward by the red pill and the manosphere and all that kind of stuff, is that's essentially what they sell. I think the difference is that I don't think that anyone should discount or ignore like men's pain. Not that I'm not saying that you were or anyone is, because like that is why they will look for people like Andrew Tate. If they feel they don't know how to meet women, they don't know how to be successful in life, they don't know how to feel like they belong to a community. I mean, most of them are just looking for community, right? Most lonely people, lonely boys, are looking for community in some way, shape, or form. They find the red pillars, the whatever podcast, the just pearly things, and they sell them on something that's easy because you've already been doing that shit your whole life. We've all been living under a patriarchal system. We're all used to hearing this kind of dynamics where men have to be strong and we can't have like soft men anymore. They need to be masculine, they need to be dominant, you need to be able to own everything, Bugattis, women, houses, all that shit like that. It's they capture that market because they at least have that part, the door open to, yes, like you're hurting or men are hurting. Their answer is just misogyny and MLM scams.
Like my thing here is like, there is a belief that there is some sort of bias or discrimination against men, straight white men usually, specifically, for being straight white men. And I want to push back against that with every fiber of my being, because it's just not true. Women are discriminated against for being women.
It's a victim complex.
LGBTQ people are discriminated for being LGBTQ. And I usually explain it like this. The most unlucky person in the world, the person who's faced the most hardship if there was a contest to figure out who had faced the most obstacles and hardship in their life, if that person could be a straight white man. Everything that could go wrong for them has gone wrong. They've never gotten a break. But the reason all those bad things happen to them is not because they are straight white men. There are other reasons. Class, the patriarchy,
sexual abuse, abuse of parents, broken family home, parents weren't, like there's tons and tons of things. Yeah, but you're not like getting denied rental property because you're white. You're not getting not getting a call back from a job because you had a white sounding name. Like you're not getting the stopped and frisked every single time by the police because you're white. Like those are systemic issues versus you can suffer for a ton of reasons. There's so many poor white people in America. Like so many. There's a lot of fucking poor white people who are having a hard ass time.
So I don't know. I guess in my role as the token straight white man on this,
you're an endangered species.
I feel compelled. I feel compelled to make sure those conversations don't give people that idea. Yes.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. This one is for you, Matt.
Looney Tunes 9000 with a super chat. How can Matt still survive doing a 4-hour show from last night? Got to 2 a.m. this morning to going to do Majority Report. I almost said from going to do men's rights. From this morning to going to Majority Report and Leftist Mafia in one day. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My son earlier today, also I drove him after school. He had soccer travel team tryouts for a travel team. He did really good, so we'll see.
Nice.
They're gonna get back. He scored 3 goals in front of them, so hopefully that means something. So yeah. So I've been I've busy day today, yes. But
Nice.
no, I enjoy being here with all of you. And honestly, my favorite part of the show is honestly the super chats. I know it's not because it's you guys giving me money, which does, it is an important factor. But no, I really do like interacting with people. Like I like it much more. Like I like hearing
He's a phone call show kind
diverse,
of guy.
yes, my thoughts and stuff like that. I mean, like Dave Rubin says, I love the free market place of ideas.
Ideas.
High level ideas.
You do it so good, Lance. Okay, so this one is for Rebecca, but she left. But it's from the Emo Dragon with $4.99. Thank you, Emo Dragon.
I got an Emo Dragon too. I'll read it after.
Okay, perfect. Donation to make Becca a permanent YouTuber. Good talk about men's mental health. Love you, mean it. Thank you, Emo Dragon.
And the Emo Dragon with the $5 dono. Thank you so much. I heard Jordan Peterson signed on as the Red Lobster spokesman, and it caused them to go bankrupt due to his rant about hierarchies. Happy Pride, Lance. Happy Pride to you too. That's awesome.
I think this is you, Matt.
This is for me. Yep, Bay Photo with a membership super chat. Ooh, you're coming upon a year-long membership, Bay Photo.
My goodness.
Yeah. I feel like the proceeds from this membership chat should go to Kowalski for last night's farming lesson. I mean, from what I understand, Kowalski is absolutely balling as a farmer.
Yeah.
He's balling. I mean, he's yeah. So I don't think I think he's good. I'll keep the membership chat proceeds. Kowalski single-handedly pushing back against the idea that farmers are this like definitely hardworking, definitely blue collar, but they work hard for their money and they make that money apparently.
Yeah. And good on him.
Hell yeah.
All right, this one's for me, Sir Gerbil with $10. Thank you, Sir Gerbil. Hillary Clinton's campaign circulated pictures of Obama wearing a keffiyeh back in the 2008 primary. Yeah, I was listening to you all on Majority Report about the Hillary Clinton endorsement of Jamal Bowman and whatnot, and Emma had said
she didn't endorse Jamal Bowman.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She endorsed George Latimer.
Yeah, his opponent. I'm sorry. But Emma had said that Latimer is running one of the racist campaigns, and I was thinking, oh my god, this is the most racist campaign since Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign because she got so racist.
Yeah.
It was bad. So thank you for bringing that up, Sir Gerbil, because I don't think people understand how disgusting Hillary Clinton's campaign was. She did so many dog whistles aside from the keffiyeh picture. She did a lot. If you go back and watch some of the videos that I posted, in 2015, 2016 during the primary, I went over a lot of it. There were ads that were very racist. Hillary's a fucked up person. I'm she's such a bad person. She's a demon.
Was it a keffiyeh? No, it wasn't a keffiyeh. It was.
I don't know if it was a keffiyeh per se. He was wearing a headscarf of some sort. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the picture that was circulated by Republicans and Hillary Clinton. And yeah, it was the fear monger. Oh my God, he's this secret Muslim and he has this agenda. It was so racist. But I mean, at the time,
if there was a photo of Obama wearing a keffiyeh, that'd be absolutely awesome.
Right.
I'd be using that photo everywhere. That'd be absolutely. I don't use this word because I'm 37 years old, but I'll use it for this. It's pretty based if that existed.
He said it. He went there.
Yeah, I mean, Islamophobia was so common back in the 2000s. I mean, it's still common now.
Yeah, things changed.
Every politician was how can I loop in Islamophobia somehow? And Hillary
I would just
give me all the Islamophobia. It was crazy.
The war on terror.
Yeah, it was fucking wild.
I would just love to hear Obama give us let me be clear, Habibi.
That'd be great. This one's for you too, Matt, I think.
Jeffrey Barros with a super chat. It's all the boys today, right? I did say that for that Majority Report. They used that in the song for the longest time, right?
Dadbinder.
Oh, it's my pops with a membership super chat. Thank you so much, Dad. Nice. Happy Father's Day, Dad. It's I'll see you on Sunday. Matt, would your guest from last night's Doomed be able to contact or provide you a way to contact Representative Bowman in time for next week's Leftist Mafia? No, because they're not allowed to contact. They're not allowed to do anything with Bowman. This is not an official campaign thing I'm doing next weekend.
Hi, Mr. Binder.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Pops. Okay, this is from Emo Dragon, a membership chat. Thank you, Emo Dragon. Happy Pride, Mike. Thank you so much. Hope your book is gaining traction. Ordering a copy next week. Appreciate your work. Psyched to see Poopy Figueredo on streams again. Well, thank you so much. That's so awesome. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. And yeah, I started doing Twitch streams and I have my dog cam. For some reason, Poopy does not want to be on camera. Whenever I would like turn on my streaming lights, he would jump on his chair, and now he's like, "Fuck that! I don't want to be on camera."
She goes the same way back home. He actually just like gets up and leaves. He's never in the shot.
Yeah, so I'm trying to. I gotta find ways to entice him. Part of it is he's getting older, so like it's a little bit difficult to jump on the chair. But I mean, he's on it when we're not streaming. Like he just chills. So. I don't understand why. I think he's just camera shy, maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll try to entice him with like bone, like throw a bone on there, his favorite bone. Maybe that'll get him to go on it.
Oh wait, some Aussie commie plant lady pointed out Ole had Bowman on. We should see maybe.
Yeah, Mike was talking about it. Oh,
right.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, maybe she can give us a good word.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Reconnect.
Although Ole is like I'm still thinking of it like, oh yeah, Ole, she's a former Leftist Mafia host, forever Leftist Mafia family member. But then I'm also forgetting that like she had a big moment that basically put her like on the scene in the New York media world. Like she's beyond us now. Like,
oh yeah, no, she's big time.
I was like, oh, Bowman spoke with Ole. Maybe we're on the same level. Oh wait, no, she's huge now. She's huge now. She blew up. What am I thinking?
To be fair, she's always been much bigger than all of us. But
but
she's in
really,
a new stratosphere now this year.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, I love to see people who actually do good work fucking get big platforms. It's awesome.
I don't. I get very jealous. No, I'm joking.
I'm not sure who this is for. Let me double check mine. This might be for you. Yeah, I think this is you, Matt.
Is it? I don't see it. No, this is not from
Okay,
me.
it might be David Doel then. Michael Jones. Thanks for all the effective agitprop, boys. All the love to you. Well, thank you so much. We do our best. Calibrating. How did I almost not read that correctly? Spent a few days with a social democrat last week. They get to pick which party to work with every 4 years. They chose the neoliberals, not the left. Heartbreak emoji. Yeah, that's always sad.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is for me from Anonymous Bastard Society. Thank you for the $5. Have you guys seen that Adult Swim show, Smiling Friends? Also, do any of you guys think the U.S. will end up as how depicted in Ghost in the Shell? So I haven't seen that show, and I can't speak to the last part because I have never seen Ghost in a Shell. I remember the movie with Scarlett Johansson, which was terrible apparently, but I fell asleep, so I don't even remember the plot. So I don't have much input. Have you guys seen Smiling Friends?
I've heard of it. I think it's the wasn't it there was hold on, let me look. I think I've seen clips or something like that. I've come across this.
I watched the entire first season. I haven't seen the new one that just came out, but yeah, I like it. It's like it's just the right kind of batshittery for me, but I understand why it's not everyone's cup of tea. Like I know some people when they watch like really weird cartoons, they're like, yeah, I don't get it. But yeah, for me, it's just the right kind of absurd, I guess.
Okay, I like.
Oh, I know how I remember how I heard about it. There was a character. I fell down this rabbit hole, and there's a character on one episode of the show that was a reference to that guy that stalked Bjork in the 90s and like sent her a bomb and then killed himself. I hate to randomly bring this up, but that's how I heard of Smiling Friends. There's a character that basically is based on Bjork's stalker, Mip. He was in one episode.
Oh, weird.
Sorry, random fact.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's heavy. Okay, last one.
Everyone's making fun of how I say Bjork. I can't remember how to say it. It's been a long time. Bjork. Bjork.
Yeah,
Bjork.
And that's okay. I was wondering if you were talking about. I was like, I don't know if he's talking about Bjork, but if he is,
I don't know how to fucking say her name. Give me a break. It's been years since I've had to say that name.
She listens to her music. It's really good.
I think this is for you, Matt.
Creflo $50 with a super chat. Question for each of you: what is a particular topic subject that the left, online and offline, can be better on? Religious people and i.e. religious people and lonely men. I mean, those are two topics, obviously. Yeah, I mean, those are two pretty good ones.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have any topics. I think that maybe, and maybe this is just me not to come off as standoffish at first. If somebody who's a normie happens to say something that is like right-wing coded, a lot of normies kind of just parrot what they hear. So maybe like don't have your guard up, and that would kind of be like my one recommendation in terms of topics that we can improve on. We can always improve. So I'd say everything, but that's just my one recommendation. If you're going into a conversation with somebody, try to meet them where they are. That's what I try to do. I'm not always good at it.
I think for the religious one, yeah, as long as leftists don't give in to just like trying to discount outright any single person just because of the religion, even if it's like Christian, where it's like it feels more socially acceptable, because there are, like any other people, very kind, loving, and wonderful people who also go to church and are also religious, and like everyone should be able to do what they want in terms of their own spiritual beliefs. You get to pick that. There shouldn't be someone controlling that for you. It's just when you try to oppress others with it as a justification, abolish it. Like they shouldn't have tax exemption in churches, blah blah blah. You know, the Vatican should be held accountable for all the indigenous genocide and rape they've been doing for generations. Melt down all the gold, return the gold to every single person that they possess it from. Yeah, they should go bankrupt in the process. But otherwise, then yeah, I think you should be nice to people, just not.
I think the left should embrace Scientology.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's look, I know that a lot of people make fun of Scientology, but if you look at some of the teachings of L. Ron Hubbard, like a lot of what he said lines up with like leftism and praxis, and it's really true. To me it's really I'm just gonna it's too late for me to pretend to find it. I don't have the energy to do an epic troll, so
I'm a
means of production,
Yeah.
I'm a Dianetic leftist.
Dianetic leftist. That's what Jimmy Dore is. Now I know. A Dianetic leftist.
Oh shit. That's amazing.
And all the rest of them.
Well, should we raid Dead
there's
Domain?
not enough. Listen, on the left, it should be Lenin, Marx, Xenu. That should be our.
Hail Xenu. Let's end with that.
What do you say we raid Dead Domain?
Okay, I
oh wait, we're done. That's it. That's all the super chats.
That's all the super chats.
I think that's it.
Wow.
Thank all the mods and every chat. The mods keep us safe. They're amazing.
Thank you
every
all
single
so
mod in all the
much.
chats. They're all beautiful and amazing.
Mods
Thank
kick
you.
ass.
Yeah, nothing would work without mods. There'd just be chaos and weird people saying slurs.
That's true.
Yeah, but send everyone to Dead Domain. Dead Domain's awesome. I didn't know Dead Domain was streaming. Yeah.
Wait, wait, hold on. I gotta look them up. Hold on. Oh, you're doing it right now. Wait. Don't do it all at the same time. They'll be completely enamored by Dead Domain. You said?
Yeah, Dead Domain. One word.
All right, hold on. I'm looking. Dead Domain. Oh, I found them. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's do this.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate it. We will see you all next Thursday. Yeah, take care, everyone.
Take peace. I said take peace. Take care. Peace.
And take peace.
Take peace.